Good evening and welcome to Playworks 2020, the first ever online Playworks. My name is Erik Jaffe-Berg and I'm a professor in the Department of Theatre, Film, and Digital Production at the University of California at Riverside, and I'm also the coordinator of Playworks. Playworks is a festival of original plays written by students in our undergraduate and MFA programs. All the plays, and there are 22 of them this year, are 10-minute, one-act plays. Our writers are supported by our student directors, our student stage managers, our actors, and some of our faculty directors as well. None of this would be possible without a terrific tech staff. And this year, that tech staff was versatile in translating the planned festival to the online mode. So I want to thank our production manager, Ben Tesher, and our technical stage manager, Johnny Macias. I want to thank our outstanding student stage manager, Kat Gonzalez, and our equally wonderful student assistant stage manager, Courtney Popst. Together, they have been scheduling, supervising, and rehearsing online casts of 22 plays, an amazing feat. We would like to dedicate this year's festival to Ann and Bill DeWolfe and to the memory of Bill DeWolfe. Over the past few years, we have been honored by the DeWolfes and by their support of our program, for which we are deeply grateful. This year, we are using Zoom to bring the festival to you. And I'm reminded that the word Zoom is borrowed from film, where it describes the ways in which we move from a long shot to a detail. That is very appropriate for what we were going to be doing tonight. We will zoom in on the language, characters, plots, and themes presented in each original one-act play. Using the form of a concert reading, we will explore the world each student playwright has created for us. Even though our audience experience is remote, it is not virtual, it is very real. So thank you for sharing this festival in real time with us. A word about our format. We will present the first 6 plays and then be joined by a respondent from the LA theater community who will engage in a dialogue with each of the playwrights. Then we'll take a brief break of about 5 minutes, and then we will continue with the next 5 plays for the evening. I will serve as MC, helping us to transition from play to play. Before we begin with the plays, we want to preserve a cherished ritual that we have at Playworks, and that is a recognition of our graduating seniors who are writers. To do this, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce our lecturer who is responsible for the writing sequence courses. Please join me in welcoming Kate Onjay.
Hello. Happy to be here. Thank you, Erik, for your leadership in putting this night together. So I'm going to recognize the 8 seniors who have completed our 3-part writing series. It's our year-long course, and who have their plays going up tonight. And I'd just like to say, in 14 years of teaching this series, this has been the most hardworking, serious group of writers that I have encountered. It's been a privilege to watch them develop as writers. As a group, they are bright, insightful, and supportive. Shout out to Marcelo Garcia, one of our writers who is not with us tonight, but is a fine writer who treats his characters with empathy and respect. Marcelo, it's been such a pleasure. So I'll start with Erik Rodriguez. So they're taking advanced playwriting right now. And what I like to do is assign an individual play that's supposed to inspire or inform their full-length play that they're working on. And everyone I'm pitching to Erik, hey, how about this? He's like, oh, I read that. Well, this, now I read that. Oh, what about this? Oh, I saw that at the taper. He's just has so much experience reading plays because he loves them. And he entered the class with the most experience of any student. But instead of being like, yeah, I know what's up, I've had my plays produced, he has just been so open to learning and so delightful in sharing. And he has a wild imagination, which you'll see tonight. And he is theatrical to his core. Okay, Jessica Campaneris. So she broke the rule. she has 2 plays in Playworks tonight, and we have never done that before. And the reason, it's not just because she's a good playwright, it's because she's such a hard worker. She does not suffer from first draft syndrome. So sometimes when you have students and they're gifted and their first draft is really terrific, they're like, haha, I'm done. And that is not Jessica. She just keeps working, and she's just a lovely writer. Okay, Jenna Mendoza was in the series last year and has come back for Playworks. She has a lovely dark sensibility that she brings to the stage and a consistency in her voice. I am always excited and a little nervous to see what Jenna is going to bring. Jenna is looking forward to applying to UCR's MFA program in the future. All right, Rebecca Delossantos. Rebecca is a comedic and imaginative writer, but there's always something deeply human and important underneath the laughter. And I can always locate a bit of Rebecca within her plays. Aline Mata Vazquez. So Aline is one of those sort of under the radar students. You know, she's a little bit quiet, does not want to be in the spotlight. And then we'll workshop her play, and we're all just like, oh, wow. And then you look over at Aline, and she has this little smile, and I think she's a little bit wowed too, because I don't think that she knows what a good writer she is. And it's such a joy to see her experience her own work. And I hope she comes to just own her gift. Armando and Equus. Okay, so he has a wide range of stories. I was thinking about this, and he's got genies, he's got veterans with PTSD. Right now he's writing a play with an insomniatic actor who is visited nightly by an imaginary character, just full of ideas. Armando is never going to suffer, I don't think, from writer's block or that kind of navel gazing air that can happen to writers. He is a worker. I can see him working in the industry, because if you give him a project, man, he's going to get it done. Alena Khan. Aleena is a writer with a gentle heart and a fierce attitude. Her work, a lot of it is centering on balancing familial love with personal autonomy. Where does our family end and our own individual personhood and declaration of independence begin? She also has a knack for capturing both the excitement and the terror of romantic love. And last but not least, we have Celeste Gomez, who also took the class last year and is returning. She came back to Playworks with a piece that was unlike anything I had ever seen from her. And, you know, I always ask the students to find themselves in the play, that vulnerability. And I actually had tears when I read her play, because it was vulnerable, and she had wedded her poetic voice to her playwriting. And it was the first play that she had done that I really felt that she risked, and it was just a beautiful experience. And I hope that you enjoy it in a way that I have. Celeste is moving to New York City in 2021. She was accepted into graduate school, but like for a lot of people, plans are a little bit up in the air right now. So I just am so excited that you're here, and what a wonderful opportunity. And these guys are great. So enjoy.
Thank you so much, Kate. And now I invite everybody to enjoy the first night of Playworks 2020. And we begin with the play, If the Slipper Fits.
If the Slipper Fits by Riley Shasteen, directed by Sophia Reynolds.
Anna will be playing Cinderella, and I, Jennifer, will be playing Elizabeth.
You!
Me? You help me. This dress is tight and hot. Could you maybe loosen the back a bit? Oh, thank you. I can somewhat breathe again. Do you need some help? Why does it look like you just ran miles through the woods?
Because I did, actually, to find the prince, but I stumbled upon you instead. Just my luck.
Excuse me?
Wow, already so accustomed to the royal life, I see. Nice dress you have there.
Thank you. Wait, who are you?
You really have no clue?
I must have a terrible memory. Please forgive me. Can you remind me of how we know each other?
Right. I'm sure it's very hard to remember the person whose life you stole.
I'm sorry. You must be confused. How did you get in here? I thought
Don't pretend like you have no idea what I'm talking about.
if you don't leave right this second out, I will be forced to call the guards, and then you can't even.
Oh, threatening me now, after I just helped you too. No, I urge you to call the guards. In fact, call the prince. I mean, your fiancé, in here too. I'm sure he'd love to know the truth about the girl he's about to marry.
What?
You know very well that if I were to try on one of those glass slippers, it would slide right on. Speaking of which, those are cute. Did the prince remake my slippers for you? What did you tell him, that you broke the other slipper somehow?
I told him what happened. It shattered as I was running home after the ball.
Of course.
You stole my slipper.
Oh, please, stick to a story, sweetheart. Did you shatter your slipper or did someone steal it? You're gonna need a believable backstory when the prince comes asking questions so he doesn't throw you in prison for lying to the crown. Even though it's where you belong. Oh, calm down. I'm the one that should be upset and hyperventilating here. How could you do this to someone? Do you know how horrible these past few weeks have been? I meet the love of my life and we spend an amazing 2 hours together.
Yeah, I'm sure you two really fell in love in just 2 hours.
I have never met anyone like him before. He really is special. And I wanted to stay with him forever, but for reasons that were out of my control, the horse, the mice, the pumpkin, I had to leave before I could tell him who I really was.
Oh my, did you hit your head out there?
I'm not crazy. Anyway, next thing I know, he's begun a huge search throughout the entire kingdom, asking every maiden to try on my slipper. I was so happy. I thought, wow, he must have felt it too if he's going to go through so much just to try to find me. Me of all people. I was going to finally get away from home. And then, all of a sudden, I'm hearing rumors that he found the palace mystery girl before he even reached my village. And in a few short weeks, they were to be married. Married.
Oh, you're the girl who I've been hearing about. You're the girl going around telling everyone that you're the real palace mystery girl.
I became the laughingstock of the entire kingdom. The palace wouldn't listen, and the villagers told me I was crazy. Everywhere I go, I'm mocked. And if my stepfamily didn't already hate me enough, I couldn't take it anymore. So I snuck into the palace while everyone was distracted with the wedding. And found you. The girl who ruined my life.
Thanks for the much-needed backstory.
That's my cue to go, then. Prince! Oh, Prince!
You can't do this!
My slipper!
Oh, stop that.
That was my last hope. You know what? You win. Congratulations. Please, just don't call the guards on me.
Oh, please, like you weren't just going to call the guards on me.
Fine. I'll just spend the rest of my life in prison.
There. I will make sure no one sends you to prison.
I'd rather go to prison than go back to living with my stepmother.
You couldn't possibly mean that.
I couldn't stand to go back, especially now when they would hold this over my head forever. Ever since my father died, I've been so alone. I've had to befriend the attic mice.
How does someone make friends with mice?
Of course that's all you hear from everything I just said.
Hey, living in an attic isn't so bad. I chose to stay in one.
Why would you do that?
Biological mothers can be terrible too.
Yeah? How?
It's not really any of your business.
You're about to ruin my life. The least you could do is tell me why.
I'm not trying to ruin your life. I'm just trying to make mine better. My family life is complicated. My father was so in love with my mother, but my mother, she had an affair.
Wow. Wow.
For a woman to do that, well, I'm sure you could imagine the reactions of the rest of the village. Shortly after my father found out, he got very sick and passed away. I think from a broken heart. Obviously, we were ostracized. Everywhere we went, people would whisper and stare. Even now, 2 years later, the kids at school would say horrible things to my little sister. That's why I did this, to give us a clean slate. My mother, well, she's been a different person ever since my father died. She won't even leave the house. I can never forgive her for what she did. So I stay in the attic where I know she won't bother me.
I'm very sorry you had to go through that. But one thing I've learned is that everyone makes mistakes. I'm sure it's all very hard on her too, but time is short. I would do anything to go back in time and have even one parent again. With the prince, I thought I could have a family again. I felt like a princess in those slippers. They carried me so gracefully all night as I danced with the prince, but then the clock hit midnight and
Ran away quickly saying, "Goodbye, I must go." And then he chased after you, and while you were on the stairs, your slipper fell off, but you were in such a hurry you abandoned it. I know.
how do you...
All he talks about. I've heard the story 1,000 times.
He does? Well,
The wedding is about to start.
just go. You're gonna be late to my wedding.
I don't deserve this life.
What?
It's yours. You're right. I stole from you unfairly. I didn't mean to. I figured you were probably some random princess that came for a fun ball one night and then just went back to your normal fancy life afterwards, and that's why you didn't come forward. I didn't know that you'd be someone just like...
You?
I'd be ruining multiple lives if I went through with this. So I can't do it.
What, really?
Clearly it's you the prince truly loves. Like I said, he won't stop talking about that night.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Don't thank me. I just hope one day you'll forgive me for everything. Come on, let's go find the prince. I'll tell him the truth about everything, even if it means he will send me to prison.
No, you need to be with your sister and your mother.
Maybe he will be understanding.
If he's really my true love, he will be.
And if it works out, I will take your advice about my mother.
It will work out. Maybe I can find you a place in the palace. Then the rumors in the village won't be an issue, and you'll have a fresh start.
That would be amazing, truly. But right now, come on, we don't have much time. You coming?
What if I mess everything up? What if I need the magic?
Magic? What magic?
The magic of the night? The magic that was in the air, you know? What if he doesn't like me without it?
You don't need magic. If it really is true love, like you said, that's all the magic you need.
What about your true love?
I don't think I'm really the true love type, but
But,
did you mean what you said about finding us a place here?
of course.
I think there's something I have to do here.
What?
Being here these past few weeks, I saw how much better things can be for not just my family, but other families going through tough situations like it. What if I create a safe space for those families to get out of those restricting villages so they can start over? And there is a lot of space on these grounds.
That sounds better than true love. Thank you. Really. You have no idea how much this means. I know it can be hard to do the right thing sometimes, but I really, really can't thank you enough.
Please stop. I haven't even fixed anything yet. Thank you. Girl, you're an emotional wreck. Stop crying. We can't have you meeting your prince looking like a mess, or, well, more of a mess. The end.
Thank you if the slipper fits. And now we prepare for 3 wishes.
3 Wishes, written by Brandon Yoon and directed by Noe Huerta. 20, 30, 40, 50? Damn it. God, I'm so over this shit. You know what? Fuck you, David. I fucking quit. I fucking quit.
Excuse me? Say that again.
Fuck you. I'm too smart to be working this shit job like this. So how about you have fun living the rest of your life off of tips, bitches? What the fuck, man? That could have hit me. David?
Yo, yo, yo. What's it hanging, my dude? You're Jake, right?
No.
My man. What's up? My name is Clark, and I'm your fairy godfather.
I'm not sure you have the right.
Here, I do have the right Jake, right? 21 years old, college senior at Cal State Long Beach.
No,
Couldn't sleep alone until you were 12 years old because you were scared of the dark. Your mom had to drive to school to the age of 13 to wipe your behind.
Okay, hold on. Shut up. I don't know how you know any of this, but I'm gonna go throw hands with my manager right now, so please, don't mind me.
Actually, this is why I'm here. Not only was I sent here to stop you from making the biggest mistake of your life right now, I'm also here to grant you 3 wishes. Any 3 wishes, what would you like?
Well, in that case, I want to have...
Wish, my dude. It only works if you start with, I wish.
Oh, sorry. Of course. Well, I wish that you could tell me who you are before I lose my shit.
Look here, my dude. My name is Clark. I just got hired as a fairy godfather under the Department of Depressed College Students. Actually, just college students. There were a lot of subcategories of college students, so my boss just kind of put it all together. I majored in business, but with a focus in human communication. Let's see, I love human food. Rice and beans are my absolute favorites. Good Lord. Sometimes I like to come down to the human world and take a stroll on these things.
Okay, stop. Can I take that wish back?
Ooh, so look, you really can't do that thing. It's kind of like bending the rules. So you can only wish for something. You can't wish for more wishes or to undo any of your previous wishes.
Christ. Well, I mean, I wish you had told me that sooner.
My name is Clark, and I'm your fairy godfather. I can grant you 3 wishes and only 3 wishes. You cannot wish for more wishes or undo any wishes. There you go. Now you have just 1 left.
Wait, what? You just said I had 3 wishes, and now you're telling me I only have 1?
Well, in a different timeline, you made 1 wish, but you wanted to undo that. And I told you no, because it's against the rules. And then you wished a second time that you wanted for me to show you the rules earlier. And now in this timeline, I granted you your wish by telling you earlier in our encounter.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. I didn't wish for any of those things. I mean, I just met you, and now you're telling me I only have 1 wish left?
That's right. Wishes can be a little muddy, so I mean, you just got to be careful what you wish for.
Bullshit. I can't possibly just have 1.
Sorry, man. I mean, it's the rules.
Bro, you just said my 2 wishes were from a different timeline. How the fuck was I supposed to know that me from a different timeline was gonna fuck things up for me?
Yeah, so I can't really do anything about it. So, I mean, I'm sorry. So, what is your last wish?
You know what? I wish you could go back to that other me and slap the shit out of him for being a dumbass.
Say less.
Ow! What the fuck, man?
All right, and my job here is done. So
What the heck is that all for?
Well, I went back in time to fulfill your second wish of telling you the rules of wishing earlier in our encounter. And then your past self wished for me to come back to future you and slap your dumb ass. And now my job is done. All of your 3 wishes have been granted.
Wait a minute. When I said I wished you told me that earlier, it wasn't a real wish. It was an expression. And then, literally seconds after I said that, you slapped me across the face. I mean, what kind of abusive fairy godfather are you?
Look, dude, I told you, every wish starts with I wish. And anything that comes after those 2 words triggers a wish. Come on, man. You're a college student. You should be able to pick things up quick.
Well, how was I supposed to know that me from the past would have wished for you to slap me?
He called you a dumbass. Okay, that's why.
Well, you know what? I wish you could go back in time to that other me and slap him harder.
No can do. I mean, you used up all of your 3 wishes. I said my time is done.
Wait a second. Look, I may be a dumbass, but I am a physics major, and I know that you jumping back and forth between timelines, past and present, is not only messing with my 3 wishes, but it's seriously messing with reality. I know something's wrong.
Oh, I doubt that. You're talking to a fairy godfather graduate, class of 2016. I spent 5 years grinding for my degree. So let me tell you a little something, Jake. I know what I'm doing.
All right. Go back to my past self then. See if anything's wrong, and if I'm right, I get my wishes back.
Deal.
Ah! What happened to my arm?
Fairy Lord have mercy. You were right.
What the fuck? What the fuck? 1 second I have my arm and I blink my eyes and then it's gone. Oh my God. What did you do?
Oh gosh. Okay, give me a second.
Oh, wait.
No!
What is going on?
You were right, okay. I did mess everything up.
Well, shit. I wish for my arm back.
I can't. I told you, you used up all of your wishes. You don't have any more wishes. I can't help you.
You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. I knew it. I knew you fucked everything up. Look at me. I'm fucking missing an arm. We had a deal. You have to fix your mess.
Okay. Let's see. I think
there's no time for thinking. Just hurry up and do something.
I'm trying, okay? I think on page...
Get your shit together, Clark. This is your time to shine. Just do something.
Okay. Thinking about it, you right now used up all of your wishes, but maybe not your past self. No, your past self only wished once, which was for you to get slapped. Okay. I think I got it. How does this sound to you, Jake, the physics major?
So, might have bullshitted about that whole physics major thing.
You what?
I lied. Okay, I lied about the physics major so I could get one of my wishes back.
Are you kidding me? Look what you did.
Look what I did. I mean, I might have lied, but I was sort of on spot with this whole messing with reality thing. I mean, I know that from Rick and Morty.
Oh, wow. I love that show.
Focus, okay? You have to get my arm back.
Okay. I'll be right back.
And now I'm armless. What have you done?
All right, let me explain, okay? I'm gonna go out on a limb here, but okay, anyways, as I was saying, you theoretically have 2 more wishes left in this timeline. Your future self used up all of his wishes, but the past you has not. I know it sounds dumb, a little bit complicated, but...
No, sounds pretty reasonable. Sounds like something I would hear in Rick and Morty.
Oh, you watched that show too? Oh wait, yeah, your future self already told me that. Anyways, let's try this out.
Okay, so I just wish for my arms back.
Correct.
Well then, I wish for my arms back. Thank God!
Okay, that was a close one. All right, let me just double check on future you. I will be right back with your third wish.
All right, just hurry. I'm excited for this third wish.
With the fridge?
Didn't work. Now did it?
Well, it technically worked fine with past you. I don't know why you're now invisible.
Please just tell me you have a solution.
Well, your past self now has just one more wish. If I could go back
Tell
in time,
that son of a bitch to make me visible.
Okay.
Oh, you're back. So, for my last wish,
Stop.
What's up?
Your past self isn't looking so great.
So, fuck his dumb ass. I have one more wish left, and I'd be much obliged if you fulfill it.
See, the thing is, Jake, I could grant you your third wish, and your life here in this timeline would be happy. But your future self is currently invisible and wishless. So he's pretty much screwed for the rest of his life. I'm suggesting that maybe you do the right thing and wish for his limbs back.
Wow. That is a tall task to ask for, considering I'm not invisible and I'm perfectly fine.
Right you are, Jake. So, what are you going to wish for?
I wish to be a millionaire. Clark? Fuck.
End of play.
Thank you, Three Wishes. And now we prepare for Knotted.
Knotted. Written by Erik Rodriguez. Directed by Samantha Swearingen.
I am
I'm
I will be playing Wilma.
And I'm Emily Brooks. I will be playing Sky.
Sky. 17 years old. High school senior. Wilma. 36 years old. Hairstylist. Godmother to Sky. The present. Dusk. The place? A hair salon in Long Beach, California. Wilma's hair salon. Clean and ready to close up. Lights off, except for a little bit of sunlight that leaks through the window blinds as the sun is about to set. At rise, a figure sits on our barber's chair, crying in the dark. A car pulls up. A car door slams. The door to the salon is swung open. A car honks.
I'm barely in the place. Could you wait a second?
Wilma, 36, enters, fidgeting with her hair. She wears a leather jacket over a floral swing dress with a pair of vintage peep-toe heels. Her hair is styled in victory rolls. She walks about halfway to the back of the salon when she sees a figure sitting in the dark.
Guy? What the hell are you doing in the dark, mija?
Wilma turns the lights on. The figure is revealed to be Sky, 17, who wears a prom dress with a pair of heels. Her hair appears to have been styled but is now tangled, knotted, and damaged.
Ay Dios, your hair! Ahora, ¿qué pasó?
Nothing.
¿Cómo que nothing? Mija, we worked on your hair all day. Why are you not at your prom?
Okay. So I started closing up shop as soon as we finished my hair, right?
That was the plan.
Put all the inventory away.
Uh-huh.
Clean the salon.
It looks nice.
I finished early so I can call Angel ahead of time. He wouldn't answer. So I text him. And he has yet to reply. I just don't understand why he would do this after all the months of...
Bye! All right, let's just take a few breaths, okay? Good thing your Nino and I forgot the tickets to the reptile show, huh? We're gonna get there a little late, but it's whatever. It's your Nino who's dragging me to this, ¿sabes? Ahora, calmadita. ¿Qué pasó con Ángel?
He's not answering. I've texted him nothing. So I started freaking out. Like, Why is he not answering? He's not coming. He's not coming. He never meant to take me to prom. Is he mad? He's told me a dream and I bought it like the idiot that I am. Does he have any reason to ignore me? Now I gotta go to prom by myself like an idiot. What could I have done for him to be mad? Nina, are you listening?
Yes. Mija, this doesn't sound like Angel at all.
Where is he?
He's probably on his way. But even if he's not, you can't sit around creating negative thought after negative thought. Mira tu pelo!
My hair!
You do this all the time, but this time, those vibes are fucking with my hair.
Oh, Nina, now I can't go.
Sky grips a piece of her damaged hair and pulls on it. Wilma fidgets with her hair.
Will you stop talking like that? Déjame ver, okay?
Why bother? I'm not going.
Como que I'm not going?
The plan was for Angel and I.
Angel's not here.
I don't have a ride.
Your friend's house is on her way. La Flaquita Brianna. We'll drop you off. We both know she doesn't have a date. Doesn't stop her from having a great time.
Can I just hang with you and my Nino?
You hate the zoo.
So do you.
Sé que Ángel prometió ir contigo, but you can't be so dependent on people like that.
Nino depends on you like that.
Trust me, that shit's getting old real quick.
Okay, but...
Enough with the butts already. This is your night. You should be with your friends, enjoying music, dancing, laughing. These are moments that no boy's worth giving up for.
I can't go like this. What? Am I supposed to walk in there with my body like, hey there, how's it going?
Take a seat, dumbass.
Sky sits at the barber chair and gives Wilma her hairpiece for Wilma to examine it. Suddenly, a car honks twice. Wilma crosses to the door and opens the door.
Hey, guess what, asshole? Your goddaughter's in here crying. Yeah, she got stood up. Yeah, on prom night. You want to come help me deal with a teenage girl with feelings? No. Might speed things up. Honk once for yes, twice for no.
Short silence, then two soft honks. Wilma slams the door.
Ya ves? Broke his shit down real quick.
Never mind. Just leave already. My Nina's gonna go crazy if you don't take off soon.
Desespere. We can't have you go like this.
She's a goner.
No, but it'll take me a night in to save her. Hours of meditation, some yesca, bottle of wine, a long bath.
I feel shitty.
I named her Cielo.
You're the greatest.
Go to the inventory and bring me Susana.
Susanna?
Yes.
No. We are not about to waste Susanna on me.
Nothing's going to waste.
Prima Nicole's wedding is in 2 weeks, and if Mother doesn't have Susanna to show off that day, she is going to flip.
Let your heifer go with her baldy for all I care.
But Susanna's your life's work if something were to happen to her.
Stop thinking like that.
I just don't think that tonight's that serious for Susanna to come out.
Es lo que te digo.
But Nina!
What did I say about butts? You have to stop using them so much. Tonight's your prom night. You deserve to be dolled up with Susana. Watch, your friend Brianna and everyone else won't take their eyes off of them puffy curled bangs. All unwanted energy will bounce right off of them. You're gonna break so many hearts, te lo prometo.
Sky goes to the back of the salon. Wilma applies hair products.
While you're back there, give me the white envelope and will you? Son those tickets for the stupid reptile show.
Sky returns with her hands behind her back.
You found it?
Nina, I'm so sorry.
It's a white envelope on the small.
Sky reveals Susanna, a hairpiece, Wilma's masterpiece. Susanna is tangled, knotted, and damaged.
¡Ay, Dios!
I'm sorry, Nina.
¿Qué hiciste? My baby, look at her!
I know.
Wilma hurries to the back of the salon.
I forgot to lock the inventory and my vibes. So yeah.
Wilma returns with 2 other hair pieces that are also tangled, knotted, and damaged. Wilma fidgets with her hair again, twice as intense.
Look what you brought in.
It was an accident.
Every single baby of mine is fucked.
An honest mistake, I swear.
Wilma fidgets with her hair, more intense than before.
I'll help you restore them. Just tell me what to do.
I really can't. I can't even look at you right now.
Nina, don't say that.
A car honks louder and longer than before. By now, Wilma's hair is a hot mess. As Wilma crosses to the door, she fidgets with her hair.
Ay, Diosito, ayúdame. This pendejo doesn't. Angelito?
Why is he honking?
Hey, stupid! Why are you honking?
Nina, you're mad. And you have every right to be, but please go tell him that I'm not going.
¿Cómo que I'm not going? Angelito's here.
But your work. I have to stay and help you with all the hairdos I ruined.
She needs a minute. Take a seat.
Nina, it's a lost cause.
Ya te dije que no hables así. Siéntate.
Sky sits on the barber chair. Wilma fidgets with her hair. Wilma picks up and examines each of the hair pieces. Wilma picks up Susanna out of all the hair pieces and crosses to Sky, then takes off her own hair from her own head and puts it on Sky's head.
What are you doing?
It's all right. But please, take care of Cindy.
Cindy's yours.
Yeah, you're only borrowing her for tonight.
What about you? Nina, you can't go to the zoo with your body. They'll keep you.
Yes.
Seriously.
I'll get creative with Susanna.
All right. But Cindy's a bit out of shape.
Well, she was flawless when we got here.
I know. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Not with my motherfucking crown on your head. Sorry's the last thing you'll be.
Wilma restores Cindy with a few touches.
Damn, you look like a rockabilly prom goddess.
You really think so?
Claro que sí. Mi niña, you got all knotted up over estupideces. ¿Ya ves? Angelito kept his promise. He's late, but he's here. It's gonna be a lovely night full of endless wonders. Let that be the only vibes.
Gracias, Mangina.
Nada, mija. Ahora ya váyanse, because if your little boyfriend honks again, you're going to the prom without a date. And tell your godfather I'll be out in a minute, okay?
Nina, should be out soon.
Wilma looks at herself in the mirror for a moment. She then gets Susanna and puts her on.
Come on, let's just do our best, okay? That's all we can do. Maybe we'll get to see some cute little baby turtles, hopefully. Are baby turtles nocturnal? They'll probably be asleep in their cages. Them's the vibes for tonight. Accessories.
She pulls on a polka dot bandana from a drawer, wraps Susanna in it, glares at her reflection in the mirror, cracks half a smile. Honking blares. She rushes to the back of the salon and returns with a white envelope. Glares at her reflection in the mirror one last time. Honking continues. She crosses to the door and is about to exit, then returns to dump the envelope in a trash bin and finally exits.
Cariño, have I told you how much I hate the fucking zoo?
End of play.
Thank you, Nodded. And now, Bad Luck.
Bad Luck, written by Jessica Capinaris, directed by Kelland. Lily, played by Jade Wong.
This is Ray, played by In Yu Song. Hey. Hey.
Me?
Yeah, you okay?
I'm fine.
Seems like you might make a run for it.
No, I'm fine.
Okay. So, your first time?
Excuse me?
First time seeing Dr. Marlowe. I haven't seen you here before.
What, you come in here every day?
Do you want some water? Or need some help with the form? I've seen like a million of them.
Water sounds great, actually.
They have a water jugs out here, but I'm going to tell you a secret. The good water is actually behind the reception. You just have to ask for it. So, what are you in for?
What?
Like, what's your thing?
Oh, I don't have a thing. Yeah, I'm fine. I know a lot of people come in here with real issues, but I'm fine.
That's good then. No need to worry,
I'm not worried.
because Dr. Marlowe's the best.
Uh-huh.
She can cure anything.
It's great. I'm glad she could help you.
Oh, no. She couldn't cure me.
Yeah. Wait, what?
She couldn't, fix me.
I thought you just said she was the best.
She definitely is. Like, whatever you got going up on here, Dr. Marlowe will fix for you.
If she couldn't fix you, how are you so sure she's going to be able to fix me? Not that I have anything to fix.
No, she'll definitely fix you. Probably.
You know, I should probably get back to this farm.
Yeah, right.
I can't do this.
It is a lot of questions. Kind of invasive too.
Yeah. Anyway, what did you say you were in here for?
Oh, I'm unlucky.
Unlucky.
I have a bad luck, real bad.
I see.
You don't believe me.
It's unusual.
A lot of people don't believe me, but I can prove it. Do you have a coin? I would like to look for a coin for myself, but I know I don't have it because of my bad luck.
Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, do you have something? A penny even.
All right. I got a quarter.
Now call heads or tails.
Tails?
Now flip it.
Tails.
See?
That certainly wasn't lucky.
Hey, don't laugh at me.
I didn't laugh.
Don't smile either. I'm not crazy. We can flip that coin 20 more times, and I'll still lose.
Unfortunate.
Hey, was it raining when you came in?
No. It was cloudy, but it's not supposed to rain today.
All right. Come with me outside.
Why?
Because you seem like a see it to believe it type of person. And today, you're going to believe it. Come on.
Not possible.
It is.
It wasn't raining. And the moment we stepped out, and then it stopped again, right when we came back.
I was there.
It wasn't even supposed to rain today.
But there was a chance. And if there's a chance, something bad will happen to me.
So you really have bad luck.
The worst.
Well, when did it start?
Like 7 years ago, I just woke up one day and my power was out and I tripped over my feet and broke my wrist. And that was only the beginning.
Do you think it's like a curse or something?
I don't know. Dr. Marlowe said it might be some sort of a self-destructive behavior. A spirit guide told me that I must be a real bad guy in my past life.
What did you do to fix it?
I'm still working on that one. I tried some four-leaf clovers, rabbit feet, all that type of junks.
It was just like that? Every day? You don't ever get a break?
I mean, sometimes it's not too bad. I just expect the worst now always.
Isn't it hard?
Well, it's a bit of a...
Sorry. Of course it's hard. I meant to say that I wouldn't be able to do it. You're a lot braver than me.
That's probably not true.
Are you scared?
Hmm?
Like, do you worry that you're never gonna get any better?
I don't know. Sometimes maybe.
I just feel like it's hard being
Different?
broken. I'm sorry. I don't mean that you're broken. That was more about me. Not that I'm broken either.
You're not broken.
I meant more like part of me is broken. Like the normal parts that work in other people, they're just broken in me.
Like what?
I don't know. Like I wake up and I tell my legs, stand up, and they won't. It's just like I'm stuck there.
That sounds scary.
It's not scary like other things, like cancer or bad luck.
A lot of people deal with that type of things too.
Everyone says that, but then I look around and people are okay. You know, they're just walking around doing things.
You walk around, you do things.
I don't really do things. I don't even think I can do this.
Of course you can do this.
I really do want to be better at it.
But?
You know how you said that thing about being a bad guy in a past life? What if bad luck is a part of your soul and being like this is just a part of mine?
Your soul is fine.
If you say so.
My soul is fine too, by the way.
Uh-huh.
I don't think this condition is a punishment.
You don't?
No, I still have good things in my life. Yeah, bad luck sucks, but even if it's a part of me forever, I think I'll be fine.
How?
I won't let luck define me, or lack thereof.
You make it sound so easy.
It's not easy, but people live with things. You do.
No, I don't.
You told me that you can get out of bed today, but you did it. And you were scared to come here, but you did that anyway. You definitely didn't want to talk to me, but you did that too. And you'll talk to Dr. Marlowe too.
I don't know about that.
So you know what? Maybe I'll keep flipping a coin till I win. Just once. And maybe the day after I win twice. I just want it to be a small part of me.
You think it just works like that?
I don't know how it works, but I know absolutely nothing will happen if you don't try.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
I hope you try.
Well.
Lily, Dr. Marlowe is ready for you, Lily.
That must be you.
Yeah. I forgot to fill out the form.
Dr. Marlowe will forgive you. She's the best.
Hey, just one last question.
Yeah?
If Dr. Marlowe couldn't fix you, why do you keep coming back?
It can be lonely here. I like to visit.
Okay. Hey. Good luck.
Heads. Heads! Yes!
End of play.
Thank you, bad luck. And now, Pass by Catastrophe.
Pass by Catastrophe, a 10-minute play. Written by Jenna Mendoza. Directed by Winter Lawson. Character Andy, played by Andrea Arriaga. Character Pen, played by Miranda Liu. Lights up. A university gymnasium in the middle of the night. Pen is on stage. Pen has a gas can and pours liquid on the floor. He splashes on his shoes.
Shit!
Pen wipes his shoes. Andy enters. Pen turns and jumps when he sees Andy.
What the hell, dude?
What are you doing?
Me? What are you doing?
I heard you leave the dorm.
I'm taking a midnight stroll.
It's 3 a.m.
Okay, a 3 a.m. stroll.
Dude, the gym's closed. Kyle's pissed that you snuck out during finals week.
So what? He's an RA, not a warden.
We should be in bed.
Okay, Mom.
We have tests tomorrow.
Fine. Let's just get out of here then.
Is everything okay with you?
Look, this is the only time I get to myself. I was just enjoying the peace and quiet.
Peace and quiet? What's that smell?
It's a gym. Most of them have pretty distinct smells.
Gasoline. You cannot be serious.
As serious as an out-of-control fire started in a gymnasium.
What the fuck do you mean?
Okay, listen, I know it looks bad, but...
It looks lunatic. Why would you want to destroy the gym?
I'm not trying to destroy the gym. I'm trying to destroy a little bit more than that.
No.
Listen,
I
have a solid reason for this.
Okay, then explain.
There's this rule.
What rule?
Basically, if a university suffers a major catastrophe, such as part of the school being burnt down, all students are given their bachelor's degree, no finals required.
No.
I just thought if I started a tiny little fire here in the gym and it just happened to make its way to the library next door and...
No, you can't actually believe that's real.
It has to be.
You're talking about destroying our university.
For the greater good.
Greater good?
I'm putting my neck out for every student here.
Oh my God.
All of us would graduate. No more tests, no more lectures, no more bullshit teachers that have too many sticks lodged up their assholes.
This is out of control. You're out of control.
We'll get our degrees and then we can get the hell out of here.
We're a quarter away from graduation.
Come on, dude.
I don't know if you're smoking something special in those cigarettes of yours or if you've just completely lost it.
You're not seeing how good this would be for us, for everyone.
But there is no way that this plan will ever work.
It's a shortcut. It'll get us exactly what we came here to get.
Shortcuts don't work.
Can't you just leave? Just pretend you didn't see anything and go tell Kyle you couldn't find me. Please.
Come with me. If you don't come with me, right now, I'll call security.
I need this.
Not like this. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
We've been friends since we were little. I care about you.
Bullshit.
And I can't let you ruin your life. You can earn it just like everyone else. We'll do this the right way.
You're sleeping with Mr. Hayes.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Is that the right way, Andy? I thought you said shortcuts didn't work.
He's helping me with my senior project.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
Shut up.
Everyone else is working their asses off to keep their grades afloat while you cuddle up to the professor and get exactly what you want from him. If you call security, I'll make sure everyone knows about the whole thing between you two.
You're going to get caught. They'll put you in jail.
Fine. Free food, free housing. Jail sounds like a better living situation than college has been.
Look, you're just tired. Let's go back to the dorm and get some sleep. You're making a huge deal out of something so insignificant.
Insignificant? It may all be insignificant to you, but some of us don't have it so easy. You can sit through the hours and hours of lectures and the labs and the bullshit and things always turn out just fine for you, but not everyone is like that. I'm not like that.
You've been studying for this all week, though.
And it hasn't done shit for me. I know it's not going to change the fact that I will have failed every single one of my classes.
You've got time to make things up. It'll get better.
It'll get better for you because you've got it figured out. I can't do this. I can't graduate. And I can't go home if I fuck this up.
Your parents won't think anything less.
You don't know that. My parents will disown me if I even think about going home with a line of F's on my transcripts. They worked too hard to get me here. They pulled every string they could so I could be in the biochem program, and if I fuck it up, there won't be a home for me to go to.
Pen pulls a lighter. Andy steps back.
Pen.
Calm down.
Pen lights a cigarette.
This is all my parents have ever wanted for me.
You've loved science since we were little. We played pretend doctors at every sleepover. We were lab partners for every class experiment in junior high.
And after that, I couldn't keep up. It just got too complicated. Do you remember in high school when I ran away from home for like a week? I stayed in your little sister's tree house.
Hiding out from your dad because he couldn't get through a bio lab. It's not like he was gonna beat you, right?
A beating would have been easier. He wouldn't speak to me when he found out. He made me feel like a stranger, like I wasn't worth his breath. For days, he would hardly look at me.
Damn.
When I told him I was hesitant about the biochem program, he said, "My son will become a scientist or he will become fatherless."
Jesus.
Coming here was a requirement. It wasn't about me. It was about the son my dad thought I could be.
I knew your parents were strict, but why didn't you come to me for help?
Why didn't you come to me about chemistry?
Well,
you were failing. I get it. But you said it yourself, shortcuts don't work. And Hayes is sweet and all, but he's like 15 years your senior. You could do better.
Don't remind me.
All joking aside, though, are you?
I have to cut it off. I know. I just thought it'd be worth a grade. It seems real extreme now that I'm hearing it out loud.
At least you're not trying to burn down the school.
Can we just leave all this here?
Yeah. Nothing leaves this place.
Andy goes to exit.
You coming?
Nothing leaves this place.
Pen flicks his cigarette and exits quickly, pulling Andy along with him.
Pen!
End of play.
Thank you, Pass By Catastrophe. And now, The Block Beast.
The Block Beast, written by Rebecca Delossantos and directed by Alena Khan. Lights up on a high school art class. Daytime. Mrs. Perkins, mid-30s, grades homework. Bunny enters quietly. She tries to place a binder on a desk, but Miss Perkins turns around. Bunny? Is that you?
Mrs. Perkins.
Oh my
Hey.
Oh my gosh, how have you been? I haven't seen you since you were a tiny little freshman.
Yeah, well, I've been busy. Portfolios, college apps.
Oh, do you know which one you're going to? Personally, I consider myself a Cal Arts girl, but don't let my preferences get in the way of you spreading your wings.
Actually, Mrs. Perkins, I want you to have this. Do whatever you want with it. I don't care. Just take it.
What's all this?
My children. Every sketch, character, background design, you name it. It's all yours.
What?
I'm done.
What are you talking about?
Oh my dear.
Nebula, Blood Baxter, these drawings are your pride and joy.
Not anymore. Every time I think I've got an idea ready to jot down, I grab my pencil and it's gone.
But, Bunny, you have such a gift.
Please don't. Not with this speech again.
I'm serious, Bunny.
So am I. I'm telling you, I can't bring myself to draw anymore.
But why? I remember when you first walked into this classroom and your eyes were so bright with determination. The Bunny I knew wouldn't throw it all away like this.
That was years ago, Mrs. Perkins. People change.
The art exordium.
Huh?
Where were you last month for the art exordium? It was open to seniors.
I didn't go to that. Besides, that's just so stupid.
How would you know if you didn't go?
Okay, fine. So what if I went? I printed a couple stickers and cheap posters. And while the clock was ticking, everyone kept walking by the other stands.
That doesn't tell me why you're giving up. Bunny, please talk to me.
This one girl walked up to me, took a good look at my stuff and said, "Wow, I thought my art was trash."
Oh God, you can't let some rando cut you down. You're better than that.
Am I really? It wasn't just bad, Mrs. Perkins. I couldn't pick up a pen months later. I doubt I can even draw a hand anymore.
That doesn't mean...
That goes right. I'm sorry. You've been a great role model, but I've made up my mind.
Bunny tries to exit, but Mrs. Perkins stops her. No, I refuse to give up on talent like yours. Mrs. Perkins searches the windows.
Mrs. Perkins? What are you doing?
Usually I don't do this because it's forbidden, but for you I'll make an exception. Go to the closet and look for a silver chest.
Why?
Just do it.
Okay.
Bunny exits. Mrs. Perkins starts drawing on the floor with a pen. Bunny enters dragging a chest titled Emergency.
Jeez, Mrs. Perkins, what do you have in here? Bricks of lead?
Close. It's a secret stash. Emergencies only.
I don't understand why my midlife crisis qualifies as an emergency. Mrs. Perkins?
Yeah, hun?
Why is there a satanic circle on the floor?
Because we're going to summon your block beast and face this problem head on.
My what?
Your block beast.
I heard what you said. I'm just trying to process. The fuck do you mean my block beast?
Okay, listen. Not many people know this, but that little voice in your head telling you your work isn't worth a dime or penny, that's the block beast trying to eat your soul. It's okay. Everyone has one. They just feed on negativity to grow bigger.
Did you sniff too many markers since the last time I saw you?
Trust me and don't ask questions. Also, hold this. Mrs. Perkins pulls out a gun from the chest, passing it to Bunny.
Why do you have an assault rifle?
Shh, quiet. You want the whole darn school to hear you?
I take back what I said about you being a good role model. This is beyond fucked. Wait, when you said we're gonna face the problem head on, you don't mean...
Yep. We're gonna blow that mother trucker to smithereens.
What? I can't shoot a gun.
Oh, don't worry, sweetie. You won't.
Oh, thank God.
Mrs. Perkins replaces it with a giant pencil. You'll be using this to stab it while I cover you. Make sure to go for the eyes, okay?
I think I'm gonna be sick.
All right. Now we need some of your blood.
My what?
Just a drop and the portal will open.
Blood? No, Mrs. Perkins, this is crazy.
Do you want to get over your fears or not?
I want to dump my art off to someone who actually cared, but apparently that's not the question.
Listen, all I want is for you to have the chance that I never have, to prove you're stronger than this.
And what if I'm not, huh? What if that binder is full of nothing but garbage and empty promises?
Mrs. Perkins goes to the binder and pulls out a page. She rips it.
What are you doing?
You said I can do whatever I want with them, right?
Mrs. Perkins grabs another, but Bunny tries to pull it away.
No, stop.
You said you didn't care.
It doesn't mean I want you to destroy everything. Ow.
Mrs. Perkins drops the binder.
Are you okay?
Yeah, just a paper cut. You always told me that I can handle the big leagues. What if I can handle one girl's stupid comment? Then
I know how you feel, but you can't erase what happened. Look, you can either leave and give up, or leap into the lion's den with me and find out what you're really made of.
I want to leave, please.
All right.
Drip. The sound of blood hits the floor. The room turns red.
What was that?
I think your paper cut just decided for you.
Lights flash and a portal opens. The block beast enters and tries to pull Mrs. Perkins in.
There you are. Get in here, loser.
Ah! Bunny!
Oh, wrong loser. It's okay. You'll do.
Oh my god, Mrs. Perkins. Wait, you look just like the girl from the art exordium.
Yeah, what of it?
Like, oh, my teacher, asshole.
Teacher? You mean the person who, the reason you went to the exordium in the first place? Face it, she wanted you to fail.
Don't listen to her, Bunny. She's a demon, not the real girl.
Bunny picks up the assault rifle and whacks the block beast with it.
Really? That's all you've got?
Shoot the monster, shoot it!
I'm sorry, I don't work well under pressure. How do you use this thing?
Wow, and here I thought you couldn't be more of a failure. Face it, you're a worthless waste of space, just like your art. And you always will be.
Bunny throws the rifle aside and picks up the pencil.
I'll show you, worthless.
She stabs the block beast.
Die! Eat you sack of shit. I wasted my whole life listening to you. Die!
The block beast exits, and lights go back to normal. Mrs. Perkins and Bunny drop to the floor.
Holy crap. What just happened?
I don't know. But in my line of work, you get used to it.
Mrs. Perkins picks up the binder and looks through it.
Hey, isn't this Ezekiel?
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Did you ever finish his story in Egypt?
No, I got stuck on a waste of something. Oh, but what if an evil monster bursts out the sand and takes his boyfriend hostage?
That's a great idea.
Yes. Oh man, I'm getting on that. Thanks, Mrs. Perkins.
Oh. Maybe I should just cancel class.
The end.
Thank you to the Black Beast. And now I'd like to invite all the actors in the last few plays to turn on your cameras so that we can acknowledge you with a curtain call. Thank you. Bravo. And now it is my pleasure to introduce to you Erin Henny, Artistic Director of the LA-based theater D-Book, who is a playwright and a past collaborator with the Los Angeles Contemporary Dance Company, the Natural History Museum of LA, the LA Opera, and many more. He's also a past literary manager at the theater at the Boston Court. I'm also happy to say that Erin is a repeat attender and respondent at past Playworks, and we're so happy to have him back. And I invite Erin so that he can lead in a dialogue with each of the writers of the last 6 plays. Erin, if we can invite you on camera.
Hi, nice to see you.
Nice
Good
to
to
see
be
you.
here. Thanks. Pleasure to be back with you. And I look forward to this time speaking with the writers. So in the past, how this has worked is that I'd spend about 5 minutes with each writer, just having a little brief dialogue about the work and asking some questions. And so I think we'll do it in the same way. And so, first I want to say before we dive in, it's a pleasure to be back. And also, it was really lovely to see how you all used Zoom in some creative ways. And so kudos to the actors and directors as well. So first, and forgive me if I get anyone's name wrong or anything, I was taking notes as I was going. So first, if I can invite up the author of the playwright of If the Slipper Fits, Riley.
Hello,
Hi, Riley, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So for those watching who haven't experienced this before, how this is going to work is we're just going to talk for a few minutes about the work. I'm going to give some thoughts about what I heard and just about 5 minutes. And this is a chance for those watching to also kind of understand a dramaturgical process, how plays develop and change and how they may even change from here. So I'm just going to ask you a quick question. First of all, congrats, good work. Yeah, and so just briefly tell everyone a little bit about how did you come up with the idea? What was sort of the impetus, the jumping off point?
This was just always something that kind of bothered, or just always something I thought about the original story of Cinderella, just kind of why the slipper never fit anybody else. So then that was always just something that I wanted to write about, just see what would have happened if the slipper did fit someone else.
Cool, thanks. And so I'm curious, so great work. What I really appreciated was, I liked how you took this familiar story that we know and kind of recontextualized it and also sort of framed the sort of fortune that Cinderella had, right? That somebody else had similar, although their own version of it, suffering, and that this became an outlet for escape from that suffering, and that caused a conflict between them. So I thought that was really clear. I thought you covered a lot of ground in a very short period, right? You very clearly set up the scenario, set up the conflict, and resolved the conflict all in a 10-minute period. So I thought that was a really nice, impressive arc, going from having us understand the situation to having them go through a conflict to having them resolve it in some way by coming to some understanding that they have similar challenges, right? So I'm curious about if you had more room in the piece, right? Talk to me about what you think you would develop more or differently. Like if you were to go back into it, where's your instinct about what you'd want to touch on more?
I'd definitely want to show more of Elizabeth's getting used to life in the palace and just seeing the difference of her life in the village versus what her life could be in the palace, and just seeing how just better it could be, and just away from all the talk of the village and all the kind of stuff that was linked to her past, and just how free she really felt away from that, but also seeing how the love between her and the prince wasn't really there, and the doubt of always wondering what would have happened, where Cinderella would be.
Okay, cool. So what I'm hearing, what's really interesting, this is why I love to ask these questions, is that for you, it strikes me that Elizabeth is kind of the protagonist. Would you agree? And that Cinderella is kind of not exactly an antagonist, but is kind of a supporting figure, right? Who is an antagonist at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So I wonder, because of that, something to think about, and you already answered your own question, is that, you already answered this question, which is that if you were to develop more, because something that I did, and this sometimes happens in 10-minute plays, right, is that you, in order to give it an ending, you had to kind of rush through the conflict, right? You had to have them deal with it, resolve it, all within like an 8-minute period, so that they go from, hi, it's nice to meet you, to we're laying out all of our history, to we're now being generous to each other, right? And that's very fast. And I think the challenge is that Elizabeth's journey is one of the long journey you just described. Let me see if it's right. Is I see this as an escape outlet from my life. I come to realize that this escape outlet might not be so good and might not be a match for me. And I also have guilt about this person who got left behind. Is that all an accurate portrait of the long arc?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this, which is great, I mean, I love that you have a long arc for this 10-minute piece. So I wonder if inside this piece, if you were to do another draft of just these 10 minutes, what would it look like for their conflict to be more unresolved for longer? Because what I found was they were on each other's team so quickly that about halfway through the play, right, the tension drops out a little bit because they are supporting each other so quickly. And so I think there's one of two ways to go, and that this is the beauty of playwriting, is like you can choose your direction. One is to stay in that conflict longer, or to go the other way and play out them being generous to each other in a conflicted way. You know, you've seen this in comedies where somebody goes, no, let me help you. No, let me help you. No, here's how I'll help you. No, I insist. You started to play with that a little bit, that they were trying to be nice to each other. What happens if they're topping each other in that? So my big note is that I think as you look at the middle, think about how whatever conflict they're in, whether it's a conflict of difference or a conflict of trying to support, how do you have it build? And that'll also make it more comic. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great. Any questions?
No, that was really helpful. I really appreciate that advice, because that is something that always, again, just in just a short time span of 10 minutes, that was something that I did struggle with. So
yeah, I mean, one thing I'll say to everyone watching, because I think you just said it, is often 10-minute plays either are a little slice of life or they're almost like an outline for a larger play, right? Because you're having to move through all the beats very quickly, which again, you moved through. So now it's just about looking for where the expansion and compression is. So great work. Thank you so much. And great job, team, because you really got me to hear the play. Thank you, Riley. Great job. Yep. Great. So we'll move quickly. Brandon, the author of 3 Wishes.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Nice work. Congrats.
Thank you.
Funny, fast, and to your team, good job in the sort of figuring out how you give us these different landscapes of reality. So again, same question. I always like to start here. Tell us a little bit about how the idea came about.
Just the original idea of having 3 wishes. We hear so many stories of people just getting the things that they want to wish for. But I wanted to put a spin on it and kind of take that concept and put it in a jeopardizing situation.
Yeah.
And that's what I came up with.
Cool. So kind of take one of these sort of familiar tropes and then expand it and put it in a modern context and played with the ways it could go wrong. I thought that was really fun. I also thought that I'll tell you this. I made a note at one point where I had a question about the logic, and then you answered it. Like, I thought you did a good job of kind of setting up this multiple timelines and this idea that what happens in one affects the other, but we don't quite know the rules and there's chaos, right? And so the more it tries to fix, the harder it is. Like, I thought very quickly, it's hard to accomplish that in 5 to 10 minutes. And I thought you did a really nice job of taking us through all the logic quickly, and also allowed us to accept the logic, because the piece itself acknowledged that it was sort of wacky and chaotic, which meant I kind of surrender to the wackiness and the chaos. So I thought that was really well done.
Thank you.
So my question for you is, tell me a little bit about like the reality of the situation for this. I want to understand something about the reality of the situation for this college student, right? Who's experiencing this. Like, does he find this lamp? The lamp comes to him. Like, just tell me a little bit about the sort of the reality of the inciting incident, of how it begins.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So it was as if the genie came to him. It might seem to the audience that it was kind of random for me to just have the lamp just thrown onto, but I made it so where the genie came to him, and if I recall correctly, there was a line where he said, "I'm here to stop you from making the stupidest decision of your life." And I think that's where that's how I tried to make it real,
right?
Make it logical.
And what was the decision, the stupid decision he was grappling with?
To go and fight his boss or his manager.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And remind me for a second, was that spelled out clearly at the beginning? The fight with the boss?
Yeah.
Great. So I love, the pets. They're with us.
Sorry
It's
about
great.
that.
No. This is life. This is reality. So okay. So there's a couple things I would say that this. Hi there. So this question of the genie. The reason I asked it is I think it's because there is a tension issue in the play, which is that if what you're playing with is this idea of, I might go talk to my boss and that could be a bad idea, right? That I think because that drops out right away, it becomes about the play of the three wishes, that we lose sight of the fact that there is a human concern going on underneath this for the character that could actually heighten the comedy. In other words, that you kind of either you want to abandon that at all, right? There's no reason this happens. The classic, he comes upon a lamp, rubs it, and the genie shows up, right? That's sort of the classic. Or you really want to use the fact that this person is in some kind of turmoil about something, because that will actually inform the comedy. People forget that the line between comedy and tragedy is extraordinarily thin. And if you watch really good sitcoms or anything, for the people in it, it's life or death. They're really concerned about something, and that's why it's so funny. And I feel like what got lost in the piece was, with you playing with time, we lost that this was a character who had something on his mind and that the other character was trying to prevent something from happening. And so what happens is I'm watching the fun of it, but I'm losing any tension, so I'm not being quite pulled along. Instead, I'm like laughing, but I'm missing the comedic dramatic tension that would keep me even more riveted. So you can play with all of that, but what if you add in the layer of the genie saying, and by the way, and he's like, but, so, or however you want to resolve it. But if there's actual human desire and need going on underneath just the immediate, it ups the comedy. Especially if what he's really wanting to do is use the wishes for something work related or something, however you want to resolve it. But suddenly there's also a tension between, I wanted to wish for something I didn't get to, and what that does. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Great. Other questions? I'm just looking at my notes here.
No questions.
Okay.
Thank you for all those comments.
Sure.
I really enjoyed them.
The last one I would leave you with while I'm at it is why does the genie show up? The reason I asked that question is because I think that if this is the genie who graduated in 2016 and wants to do it right, let's see that genie really trying to do it right, trying to serve what the person needs and wants. It will up the comedy.
Gotcha.
Okay, great work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nicely done. Good. We're going to move along quickly because I know we're hearing a lot of readings tonight. So Erik nodded.
Hello.
Hi, Erik. How are you? Oh, you froze.
Yourself? I did.
Oh, there we go. You're back.
Okay.
Great. The excitement of live theater, friends. Okay. So Erik, good job. Again, just to say, I could hear the play. I could understand what was going on between the characters, even in this setting. So it was really clear. So just the brief, minute or two version of what was your inspiration?
Well, I've been studying, theater for a couple of years, and my biggest mentor in playwriting, the last piece of advice that he gave me to grow as a playwright was to take a break from realism, to try to jump into other genres of theater, So I chose magic realism with this piece, and he also told me to try to focus on female characters, and my mother said something a couple of years ago that made me think, oh, that's a play. We had my aunt, her sister, staying over for a couple of months, and my mother loves plants. We have plants, she has plants, all over. Well, and my aunt, her sister hates plants for some reason, and sister's bad vibes killed her plants.
Oh, Erik, we're losing you. Uh-oh.
Oh, you
Uh-oh, there you're back.
Okay.
Okay, here.
So yeah, that's basically that.
Okay, cool. Thanks. So I think so. This idea of, just to say, of magical realism combined with a focus on female characters, combined with sort of your own lived experience and inspiration. So I think that's great, and I appreciated the layers of conflict going on. That there's the like kind of semi-familial conflict going on. There's a conflict of feeling not wanted and abandoned, kind of in a variety of ways. There's the conflict of wanting to hide what's happened to the hairpiece things, right? Like, so you have 3 or 4 things going on in terms of layers of conflict, which is hard to do in a short play, to kind of set all those up and have those all in motion. So I thought that was nicely done. So good job. Yeah, and I think so. My question is about the flip side of having all those conflicts. What would you tell me for you is the central conflict of this piece? Like, if you were to say, if nothing else, this piece is about the conflict between these two around this or whatever, what would you say that central conflict is?
Well, the main character would be Wilma. So I'm guessing the central conflict, I would imagine, would on her mostly. I don't know. I mean, the fact that they rely on her, I guess, or like she can. Yeah, honestly.
Got it. No. This is good.
Yeah.
So here's, and for those watching who maybe have never experienced a sort of story coaching like this, I partly asked the question because I think that kind of, is it this, is it that, tells you something about the play and where its development might be. That, in other words, right now, I think that we as the audience are struggling to know what the central conflict is, right? Is this a piece that's about the connection between two people and the way in which they're of service to each other? Is this a piece about I'm concerned that I've done damage to something you care about and I'm trying to hide it from you, and what does that mean about our relationship? Is this a piece about for Sky, I'm not feeling wanted, I'm feeling rejected, and at the same time also concerned about a mistake I've made, right? Like all of those things at play are hard to balance in 10 minutes. And I think that the question you want to ask as you go into any kind of rewrite is like, what's at core? What is this about? And I often find that it's helpful for me to come up with a sentence. This is a story of the way in which two women come together in spite of their differences. This is a story of how somebody doesn't feel loved and yet discovers that they are loved no matter what happens. This is a story of, right? Like, I think you want to find that, because also it was really interesting. When I asked you about the play, it was clear to you that Wilma seemed to be the protagonist, but I, as an audience member, wasn't sure if it was Wilma or Sky, because it was Sky who was in the most turmoil.
Before I wrote this, like I originally, the original concept was for Sky to be the protagonist, but yeah.
So I think the great news is you have a lot there. So what I would recommend is either you want to kind of strip it away and ask, what's that central conflict, and go to it and really write to that, or the other way, you make it a 30-minute play and you allow all those layers to play out so that they can really expand and really take on greater meaning.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Great.
Yeah.
Any questions? Oh, Erik, it looks like we lost you again. So I think we'll leave it there. We lost you again, but really great work. I think you're really on the track of something. There's a lot of stuff going on that carries meaning and emotional weight. So I think give it the room to breathe, and also ask yourself what's central. And those two things combined, I think will really move it to the next level. So nicely done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great work. Great. So thanks, Erik. Jessica, bad luck.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good work, and good work to the team. Again, I'm sort of amazed. I've done a few reading things over Zoom, but I really thought people did a great job of letting us hear and experience the play. So nicely done. So what do you want to tell us about the concept, about where it came from?
Well, I guess the concept really came from the feeling, I guess, with mental illness, that maybe like sometimes it doesn't feel real because it's not something you can see or like touch. So then I thought of having this character who's meeting someone else who has a condition that actually really does seem made up, but they're going along with it, and like maybe she can learn something about that.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, I thought what I really appreciated was as the piece unfolded, you sort of kept the secret in it until it wasn't a secret. And what I mean by that is not just the character secret of why she's there, but the secret that that's what the play was getting to, right? Because we meet this guy, oh, I have bad luck. We sort of buy it, but don't. Like there's all these questions. And then as the piece goes on, we start to understand what the piece is doing. And I think that's especially tricky to do in 10 minutes and not have it feel like a gimmick, right? Have it feel actually sort of like it's psychologically growing to something. So I thought you did a good job at that and tracked it really well. And also like kept that question in the first 3-4 minutes up, which is hard to do without it feeling false. So really nicely done. So my question for you actually is a little related to that reality now. So now I'm going to step back and ask the question of like the Ray, was that his name? The one who was, okay. So Ray, what do you think as the playwright? Like, do you think that he really does have a luck issue, or do you think he has a psychological condition? Like, I'd love to just hear from you as the writer. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think it's a real like a luck thing. The original concept of it was he was kind of like the guardian angel of the office, to like help people make sure they don't like scare themselves away. So yeah, I think he does have that real like magic part of him.
So I think something to consider hearing that is I just want to ask you to sort of either question that or push it further. And I'll tell you why. That right now it's a little in the middle, right? That right now we do believe there's some real luck things going on because they step out, it rains for a moment, they come back in, the rain ends. Like we are led to believe that it's real. However, because what your play wants to deal with is then questions of hurt, mental illness, and psychology. Because of that, it causes us to have a question about what's real and what's not in a way that I don't think you're intending, where I actually ask, so I think you can go one of two directions. And this is the great thing about playwriting, like, the road diverges and you're going to choose which path you want to go. One is that as the piece goes on, we really come to understand that he's also living in a state of belief about something that may or may not be true, but that that's also connecting him to other people, so that it's serving a purpose, even if it's not entirely true. It's serving a positive purpose, which is partly what your play is getting at, is acceptance around who you are and right and all of those things.
Yeah.
So number one, that's one option. The other option is if he is magical in some way, then to really let him be magical, like, and to let it go further. And so for example, right now, the ending where he has luck, right?
Yeah.
Which is sort of this hopeful ending. I feel like in a way, you probably understand that undercuts the magic, because, right? Because he's suddenly not the sort of guardian angel figure who is here all the time and this is his story, but instead he actually is a human who's hoping that one day his luck will turn, and it turns. And so right now you're caught a little between it being both and therefore neither. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense.
Just curious, instinct wise, where's your instinct today? Like if yeah.
Actually, so originally at the ending, the coin flip was originally like open-ended. We didn't know if he won or lost, and it was the reason he won at the end, and it was that change in luck, is it was just like a last bit of action to try to get Lily like through the door.
Yeah.
So that's why I had that. But I do see what you're saying about it, like how it relates to the rest of the story. Um, I think I would try to find a way to leave it open-ended again, because my whole thing with Ray is that like no matter what, like luck or no luck, he's gonna keep like his positivity and like try to push through.
Right. So I think that's a good way to ride that middle without it feeling like it's not both or neither. So think about that. And then I think there is a question of how, just for comic purposes, I will also offer that in setup, you might want to consider a rule of 3. Right now, you have 2 examples of him showing his luck. You might want to have a third, because that's what allows something to grow. You right now have the coin and the rain, right?
Yeah.
Consider a third, because that then builds a pyramid as opposed to it just being a couple examples. And it also increases a kind of human relationship comedy.
Okay.
Okay. Great work. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Really nicely done.
Thank you.
Sure. All right. So Jenna, Pass by Catastrophe.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great.
Good. Good work once again
Thank
to the whole team. And so tell us a little bit about the idea.
It was supposed to be a comedy on the first draft, and then I realized that I'm not very good at writing funny. So I did change it to something a little bit more dramatic, and it was just after this urban legend of if your school burns down or there's a huge catastrophe, then everyone gets their degrees, and I really, really like that idea.
I'd never heard that urban legend. That's amazing. Okay, great. So first, again, I think what you did really well was you really give us a clear inciting incident, and we understand some very quick, important exposition. Who are these characters to each other? They know each other. They have a long history. What the concerns are. You let that play out over time. You leave a question of has he been convinced, and then is not, and there's and then we find out at the end it's the opposite. We think they're about to leave. I thought the sort of setup and payoff worked really well. That we understood what we need to understand in order to get to the end, and that in the middle, as we think we're in a comedy, we discover there's some actual pathos and there's some real fear going on for the student, for Penn. And so I thought that worked really well. So good job. I think that my question here was about us accepting the reality of it. And what I mean is it's extraordinarily extreme, right? To have somebody about to set fire to a gym, right? That's a maniacal act. It's a very large act. And I think that I had to work really hard in a way that I don't think you want to accept the reality of it. And I think here's why. I think it actually was in 2 places that might help you. One is about Penn working harder to hide what Penn is doing. That, in other words, because it's a 10-minute play and you need to get to the meat of the action, we kind of move through that very quickly. And I think there's something to play in the reality of what are the, kind of like I just told the last writer, like what are the 3 different versions of I'm trying to hide my action from you, as opposed to the one or a kind of very quick reveal, because that will really sell the reality that this is big and real, as opposed to a very 30-second fast it's been revealed, because then we go, wow, that's a big thing to be revealed that quickly. And I understand in a 10-minute play we need to, but if you were to expand, that's a place. And 2, the other place I think is in response. And right now the response is sort of in the middle a little bit, right? It's big, but it's kind of like, that's crazy, what are you doing, right? It's that sort of response. And I wonder if you might want to consider, this is somebody who's like a real friend to Penn, right, since childhood. What are other options for response, right? Is there the option of shock, almost falling into silence? Is there the option of leaning in and saying, what's going on, man? Like what are the ways in which we watch this character in reaction try different strategies for appealing to Penn? Because it's the strategies that will also keep the tension in the piece going. I'm trying 5 different ways to reach you, as opposed to kind of one way, right? And I think that that's where this play will go from like strong to really clear and allow us to accept a reality. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank
Okay.
you.
Any questions about that?
No, that was perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, my pleasure. Really nicely done. Thank you for your good work. Yep. Great. And the last of this group, the Block Beast, and this is Rebecca. Yes. Okay, great. Good.
Hi.
Hi, good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well. Nicely done, and good job to the whole team again. Love to hear a little bit about coming up with this idea.
Okay, well, okay, so basically it's a dark comedy with magical realism, obviously. And the entire idea of the block beast revolves around this glorified metaphor for arts block and writer's block. And it all kind of just like came into my head and everything one day when I was just kind of in this sort of dark place. I wasn't sure whether or not I was willing to go through with the things that I was passionate for. And there was just like this moment where I just felt all that pent up frustration of like not being able to get my, like not being able to draw or do anything because of like, you know, just like all that stuff blocking me. And that's when I decided to write this play, to just vent it all out.
Great, thanks. Cool, and I appreciate the sort of transparency about where it came from. So that's great. Again, I want to offer and kudos to your professors too, because I think that overall what I've heard in your play is the same, is that the clarity of structure is really there, which is what we really want in a 10-minute piece, right? That, and I keep seeing this again and again in all the pieces. We have a setup of who are we with, where are we, what's the primary conflict, right? Super clear. To there's an attempt to overcome that worry, right? No, hold on, you stay. I don't want you to leave. I don't want you to quit. Let's now do something. And then we watch it hit a new height. It hits a height and it's resolved. There is an attempt to get to the core of what the issue is, which is to defeat this self-defeating voice, right? Okay, so super clear. And then the comic beat at the end with the teacher, right? Kind of going like, oh, you know, this is every week, you know. So I thought that's the structure of it works really well. I think so that you should feel really good about. And I also think that having a container for this person to come to, right, as opposed to just approaching, they needed an outside force in order to be willing to approach their demon, right? They needed somebody from outside as opposed to I'm just doing it myself and facing it myself. I think that's totally valid. The outside force that is a force for change makes sense. I think you've set up something that's a little bit of a challenge. So you might want to look at the amount of time spent in your piece on different things, or looking at light expanding again, which is, again, what I said earlier, often 10-minute plays are like outlines for larger pieces.
Yeah, it's tricky.
The defeat of the block beast is very swift for being the central conflict in the piece, because the central conflict in the piece is not between the student and teacher. The central conflict in the piece is between the student and Bunny, right? And her own demon, her own fears, her own feelings of inadequacy. And the defeat in your 10-minute piece, the defeat of the block beast is probably 90 seconds of 10 minutes. It is not taking up quite enough geography in the piece to have the impact, right? Because here's the thing about when we try to defeat those demons, they fight back, and they are the smartest fighters ever, right? We all know when our doubts, when we say, no, we got this, our doubts go, do you really have this? Is that what you think? Do you actually have this? And then we go, no, I got this. And they go, remember that time you really screwed up? Like, my point being that I think that because you were taking care of all the surrounding elements, the satanic ritual, the teacher, that the actual main conflict of the piece winds up getting a little shortened instead of watching that play out, because that's actually where the juice is. That's actually where the resolution is. So I think you want to spend some time on how does this block beast fight back? What are the variety of things it says to try and win? What are the ways in which it tries to overcome, and then the defeat is a real triumph? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Great work. And I think the good news is there's, again, room to expand. So if you have time, I'd go into that and see what you can do there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your comments.
My pleasure. Really great work, everyone. Erit, I'm going to turn it back over to you. I think we might be going on a break or such, but I wanted to, yeah.
Yeah, Erin, thank you so much for those insights. And I'm sure that people have a lot to think about and to consider. And we are now at 8:50, and we are going to take a very short, the shortest of breaks. We are going to come back at 8:55 because we have 5 more wonderful plays to go. So we will see you back at 8:55. Thank you, everybody, so much. Welcome back, everybody. We are now at the second part of our evening of plays, and we begin this second part with the play Night Out.
Night Out, directed by Roysius Lim, written by Aline Vazquez. Nicole stands outside of a bar. She's wearing a zip-up hoodie over pajamas, shivering from the cold. She checks her phone. Mindy enters and waves at her. She is dressed for a night out and is visibly drunk. She's trying hard to appear sober.
Nicole, I'm right here.
Finally, I've been waiting for 20 minutes.
I know. I'm sorry, but it's fine.
How did you even get in this place?
Wade knows the guy here. They're super chill.
Does Wade know every bartender in the city? I mean, First Duke's now here.
It's cool, right?
This is the third time this month.
It's fine. Seriously.
You promised we were going to do this again.
I know. This was the last time, I swear.
I have work in the morning.
You could have sent Jake.
He would have been way more angry with you. I had to convince Dad to let me come. He was going to pick you up.
Okay, I get it. Thanks. Why'd you get down? You could have just pulled up the car.
I had to park. I mean, I wasn't sure you'd be able to find me.
Hey, I'm not drunk. I found you, no?
Whatever. Let's go.
Oh, wait, can we give my friend a ride?
What?
Yeah, don't worry, it's just Wade. If it was Dad or Jake, then I get it, but it's just you.
Can't you just Uber?
That's super rude. He invited me. I think I should at least give him a ride home.
I need to get you home.
I get it. But Wade's already has 2 DUIs, and I'm trying to be a good friend.
Mindy, this guy's like, what, 32? He can get himself home.
No way. I'm trying to do the responsible thing.
The responsible thing would be hanging out with people your own age. You're 19.
It's not a big deal. Plus, Wade's cool.
It's super creepy. I mean, he's a 30-year-old hanging out with teenagers.
You're so judgmental. Wade's always been nice to you.
Then tell me why you always tell Mom you're hanging out with Erin or Amelia.
I know what I'm doing. Plus, we're just friends.
Hi. Yeah, she's with me now. Okay, we're going to the car now. Bye. Mindy, do not tell Wade I'm driving him home.
Oh my god, I'm not texting Wade. I'm just checking if I have work tomorrow.
You have work tomorrow. Why did you come here?
I can handle it. See, I'm working the closing shift. I'll be fine.
We have to go. Mom can see our locations and she knows we're still here.
I know. I blocked her from seeing my location already. Jake's probably telling her.
This is why they don't trust you.
It's an invasion of my privacy. I should be allowed to have a life.
All right, then, let's go.
No, we have to take Wade. I already told him.
Why did you promise him that I'm not your driver?
Okay, but it's my car you're driving, so...
Can't believe you, Mindy. I mean, I know I'm helping you right now, but I'm leaving on my study abroad next semester.
You didn't have to come if you didn't want to.
I wasn't going to let Dad see you like this.
Wow, thank you so much. As if they're not already going to yell at me when we get home.
Boo. Hi, Nicole.
Hi.
Thanks for picking us up. Min's told you I can't drive right now, right?
She did.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. It's just I have work in the morning and my parents are kind of waiting on Mindy to come home.
That's cool then. I mean, if you guys want to...
No, we'll take you.
I don't want to be a problem.
It's not a problem. I promised you a ride home and I keep my promises. Nicole, where'd you park?
I'm across the street. Wade?
Yeah?
What's your deal?
Nicole!
I mean, why do you think it's okay to hang out with teenage girls?
Nicole, shut up.
Whoa, excuse me?
It's creepy.
First of all, it's totally legal for me to hang out with your sister. And second, we're just friends. Min's is really cool, and, you know, do you not want your sister to have friends?
She can have friends her own age.
Nicole, stop it.
What are you trying to say?
You sneak her into bars every week.
She'd be drinking anyways. At least I'm looking out for her.
You're so full of it. Mindy, let's go.
No. Wade, I'm so sorry.
I was just here to have a good night, and now I'm being accused of being a pedophile.
I would never think that. Nicole, apologize right now.
Are you kidding? You're not the victim here.
Your sister's an adult. She can make her own choices.
She doesn't know what she's doing.
Nicole!
If I see her around my sister again, I'm calling the cops on you and your bartender friends. I'm sure they'd be interested in finding out you're taking a 19-year-old to bars.
Hey, keep your voice down. You can't prove anything.
Nicole, don't do this.
Either leave my sister alone, or I'm calling right now.
Wade! I can't believe you.
It's for your own good.
You have to go apologize.
To that creep?
He's my friend.
He ran away at the first sign of trouble.
Stop pretending you're perfect. You always stay out late with your friends.
Mindy, people are staring.
How come I'm being judged for doing the same thing as you?
We're not talking about this right now. Let's go.
Answer my question first.
It's not the same. I have friends my own age. We'll talk about this tomorrow. If you don't come with me, I'm calling Dad.
Don't you dare.
I can't cover for you anymore. You're just going to keep taking advantage of me.
Don't play the victim here. You totally love that Mom and Dad think I'm the screw-up.
Don't change the subject.
I didn't make you cover for me. You chose to help.
I didn't think you'd start going on with 30-year-old men.
We're just friends.
He's going to keep making you prove you're an adult. What's going to happen when I'm gone?
Just trust me.
It's Dad.
Don't say anything, please.
I'm not going to tell him anything right now, but tomorrow you will.
That's not fair. I should be able to have my own life. I'm 19.
You still owe them an explanation. Mom knows I'm hiding something. That they're going to figure it out eventually.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
Hi, Dad. Sorry, there's some road closure, so it's taking longer to get out of downtown. Yeah, we're on our way. She's fine. Okay, bye.
Thank you.
That was the last time.
Sorry. I promise I won't make you come pick me up again.
Sure.
I'm serious.
From now on, at least go with your real friends.
Are Mom and Dad really angry?
They'll probably let you sleep it off. Wait until tomorrow.
Mindy shivers from the cold.
Here, take this.
The pair then walk off stage. End of play.
Thank you, Night Out. And now the play Reach for It.
Reach for It by Armando Equus. Directed by Aline Mata Vazquez. The role of Doc will be played by Christopher Wells, and the role of Mac will be played by Andrew Salas. Stage directions will be read by Jenna Mendoza. Lights up on a glass table. There are an assortment of items assembled on the table of various shapes and sizes, a ball, a pyramid, a glass cup, etc. Sitting on opposite ends of the table are Mac, a 30-something-year-old veteran with prosthetic arms, and Doc, a 50 to 60-year-old personal trainer.
We've got about 10 more minutes left in our session, Mac. Would you like to give it another go? If not, we can end early today.
Mac takes an audible breath before carefully reaching out for the juice-filled glass cup with one of his hands. After getting a firm grip on it, he attempts to lift it up to his mouth, though he's clearly struggling to keep it level. He uses his free hand to stabilize the cup.
Hey, one hand at a time, remember?
Mac pauses for a moment, then sighs. He releases his other hand from the cup. The trembling resumes as he tries again to drink from the cup. The liquid is spilling out at this point. Mac takes notice of this and uses his free hand again to steady it. He places it back onto the table, much less carefully than before. He leans over and brings his hands up to his forehead.
You all right, Mac? You don't have to keep going if you don't want to.
I'm fine. I'm just not used to it.
Something happened recently?
No.
Are we moving too quickly?
No.
We can always reel it back. Just let me know how and why.
You think I'm crazy if I told you why?
I've seen plenty of crazy, buddy.
I don't even know how to explain it.
Do your best to explain it. I'll try my best to piece it together.
Mac shakes his head, sighing deeply as he does so. He sits up straight, then leans back into the chair.
I can still feel my arms ache, like how they were before the, you know.
Okay, I see.
See, I knew you would think I'm nuts, Doc.
No, not at all.
You think I'm making excuses so I don't have to lift that freaking cup.
I don't think you're doing any of that. In fact, I think I know what's going on.
Really?
Yep. Sounds to me like phantom limb sensation.
Phantom what?
Phantom limb sensation. Or in this case, it would be called phantom pain. We covered it in our first session.
I don't remember that.
It was listed as a side effect in the packet I gave you when we first met. You said you had read it the second time we met.
I was just under a lot of stress at that time, you know. Just wanted to move along.
That's understandable. But listen, Mac, you and I need to be on the same page. I'm here to help you progress, but I can only do that if I know where we stand at the beginning of each session. Telling me 10 minutes before we end is something you can't afford to do. It means that what we've been discussing and working on till now is based on misinformation. What's the point then?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll try to do better.
At least you told me now rather than later.
I didn't think it would matter much.
Of course it does. Every tool, every exercise I give you is one of the many paths to recovery. One method may not work for you, but will work for another, and vice versa. I've got to know if it's working. If not, I need to move on.
All right.
Now that that's clear, let's rewind a bit. So your arms are aching, correct?
Yes.
Like I mentioned, this is referred to as phantom pain. At first, it was thought to be a psychological effect of the amputation.
It isn't?
No. It's caused by the brain sending electrical impulses to the amputated limb and receiving no feedback. It's uncertain how, but this causes the sensation of still having the amputated limb.
So my brain is just playing tricks on me. God, am I losing my mind too?
There's nothing wrong with your mind. It's much more of a biological error rather than a thinking error.
If you say so.
And this is interfering with your prosthesis, right?
Yeah.
Describe it to me, the feeling.
So when I had the cup in my head right now, I didn't feel anything at first. Just a tug on my shoulder from holding the cup in my hand. But then my arm started to ache like the
day of the accident? Were your arms aching then?
Yeah, they were sore. The boys and I would get competitive when we lifted weights. I went over my max. Now it feels like whenever I try lifting something, I lose control of it.
Mac clenches his fist slowly.
Maybe the signal between your brain and the prosthesis is being scrambled by these sensations.
How am I supposed to get better like this, Doc? Is this normal?
Well, about 80% of our clients go through some sort of phantom limb sensation. So what's happening to you isn't unusual.
Just gonna make that 20%, huh? How long will this last?
The sensation can last up to 6 months, though there is a lot of wiggle room.
6 months? I can barely even take a sip out of this damn cup. I can't even do this.
Calm down, Mac. Calm down. Some clients have recovered in a few weeks just by resting. So it's not a guarantee that it'll last that long.
But the average is 6, right?
More or less. Depends on how much you want to invest.
Mac is taken aback by the news. He pulls his arms away from the table and buries his face in one of his hands.
You okay there, buddy?
I just wasn't prepared.
I don't think any type of EOD training could prepare you for such a thing.
It's been over a month since I had the surgery, and I still feel my arms aching. When I go to sleep, I can see them. The dry skin on the back of my hand sting like hell when it split open. It was worse on my fingers. God, I can still feel the cold in my fingertips. The hair on my arms would shoot up when there was a cold wind. As soon as I opened my eyes, though, I began to ache again.
Mac leans back in his chair. He places his hands back on the table but accidentally knocks over the glass of juice.
Shit! I'm sorry.
It's fine, Mac. Why do you think they got rid of this carpet from this room? Too many,
Sorry. Here, I'll clean it up.
Mac places both of his arms on the table. He rises slowly.
It's fine. I'll call maintenance so they can get mops in here and wait right there.
Doc leans to his side and pulls out a phone. While he's texting, Mac struggles to hold himself up. After a few moments, Mac lets himself fall into the chair. Doc puts away the phone but notices Mac sulking.
Relax, Mac. It's no problem at all. You're still progressing. It'll be hard now. But with time, you'll become comfortable with it.
What if I can't get comfortable? What if I don't progress any further?
You will. Trust me. I've heard plenty of amputees say the same thing. They bounce back.
I can barely get up from this chair. Everything is a test. If I want to, a swig of juice, it feels like to pour every inch of my soul to not fucking it up.
It'll get easier. It's part of the process.
Yeah, tell that to my old man.
Oh, your dad?
My dad served in the army during the Iraq War, but was medically discharged after being shot in the back. Was stuck in a wheelchair for a bit. After that, they did some surgery or whatever to cure his handicap. One of the first things he did was carry me on his back. That was nice, but one day, he picked me up and we both went down. He was back in that damn chair. Never saw him without it from then on. My dad could talk for days, before or after the surgery. After the second time, though, he never said a word, not even when he died.
Sorry for your loss.
It's whatever.
It's not whatever. You're afraid that you'll hit a similar ceiling, aren't you?
I don't know.
Well, what were you planning on doing after the Air Force? What things are you afraid you can't do anymore?
I never thought about leaving the Air Force, to be honest.
Why is that?
I don't know, was never a fan of being cooped up inside a building or something like that. Plus, it seems so far away now to think like that.
Well, I worry then. You can't prepare for something unexpected, regardless of the physical state you're in.
Yeah, but it's always in the back of my mind. I think about my dad and what could have been, and it just hurts, you know? I guess I just don't want to think about the future. I was fine with the EOT. It was simple. All you gotta do is sniff out the mine so the boys can pass through. The enemy were like squirrels. They'd bury them like nuts, and now there's someone else's problem. My problem. And I don't have experience in anything else besides entry-level jobs, and I sure as hell ain't gonna work in the back of the kitchen or a retail store.
You still have plenty of options. The doors haven't shut for you, buddy. You've got essential life experience that very few can match. You can share your experiences, maybe with teens looking into careers in the military, for example.
Yeah, I'm sure once they see me, they'll definitely think, huh, yeah, I want to be like that guy with no arms, huh?
You're purposely cornering yourself, Mac.
I'm being realistic. You're telling me you've never had anyone who didn't get back on their feet?
I've had plenty. More than I'd like to admit. There are clients I've been working with for years, and I'd like nothing more than to send them home on their own 2 feet. But I can't. Mac, I refuse to add you to that list.
I'm not sure if I can stay off it. It's hard for me to look ahead.
If you're unsure, that's fine. But you don't have to worry about the future if there's something you can change in the present.
Like what?
That depends on you, brother.
Last time something depended on me, I lost 2 arms.
Well, there aren't bombs in here, are there? Just you, me, and all the shit on this table.
I guess not, but I'd have no idea where to start.
Just recall the last couple of minutes.
It's too much.
Let's try this. What do you want to change the most right now?
Mac ponders for a moment. Doc checks his watch.
I guess if I had to change something right now.
Hold that. Our session is up.
Really? I feel like we just started.
We just did. The next session, I think we'll make some legitimate progress.
What about the cup?
The cup?
You said that it's just us and the stuff on the table, but the cup's still on the floor.
I suppose it is.
I'd like to change that.
That's very good.
You think so?
It's a start.
End of play.
Thank you, Just Reach for It. And now the play, Just a Few More Minutes.
Just a Few More Minutes, written by Alena Khan and directed by Rebecca Delossantos.
Where the hell am I? Hello? 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 Is someone there? Can you tell me where I am? Ugh, my head.
Amara, it's so good to see.
Oh, thank God. Where am I? What's going on?
Okay, calm down. You're in, well...
What?
I've been told you had an accident.
An accident?
As of right now, the doctors are doing everything they can to bring you back, but you are, well, dead.
What?
I know that's really scary, but you're going
No, I can't be dead. This can't be happening. Someone got something wrong up here.
Why don't you come here and have some chai?
No, who even are you?
If you calm down and come here, I could explain to you.
No, I need to get out of here.
Okay, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Stay still for a minute. Better?
My dad does that. How did you... Oh, wow. This is the best chai I've ever... Oh my God. Dado?
Salam, Jenny.
Wow, I really am dead.
Is that all you have to say to your grandmother?
I guess I'm still in shock.
Understandable. The chai helps with that.
What's in it?
None of us are really sure, but it gives you sukoon. Reality sets in, but it's peaceful. Huh.
What?
I just realized it's my first time meeting you.
Oh, shit, you're right. Shit, I shouldn't be cursing in front of my grandma.
You are your father's daughter.
Yeah. Oh, God, Papa. I'm leaving him and Ami and Nasreen. Holy shit, I'm dead. Shit, sorry.
It's okay, John. It's okay. I was really scared too when I died. Your aunt was getting married. I had barely spent enough time with your dad. Not to mention, I was about to meet my first grandchild. And I was still looking forward to that. Then that bus hit us, and I woke up here in this strange room with no one else here.
Then why are you here?
They said it was to help you. I wasn't sure how until I saw how scared you were. So, Tell me about yourself.
Oh, what do you want to know?
Anything. Maybe everything?
Okay. I'm 23. I have a younger sister. Her name is Nesreen. Everyone says she looks like you.
I know all that. Tell me about you.
I mean, I go to college. I'm not really sure what I want to do. Well, actually, I kind of do, but it's stupid.
What is it?
I want to be a writer. I mean, I am one, kinda. I write a lot in my spare time, and I'm taking some creative writing classes, but those are just for fun and for extra credits.
You like to write. My dad was a writer. I remember he would sit at his desk and write all day, and I would sometimes just sit in this little nook in his study, and I'd read all day. Sometimes my Ami would call me to do chores, and I'd act like I didn't hear her, and sometimes Baba will go along with it too. What kind of writer do you want to be?
Oh, I'm not really sure yet. I don't even think I'll do it.
Why not?
It's just a stupid dream. I need to be practical.
I see. You know, your papa went to America because he had a dream too. He used to tell me all the time as he was going to sleep how he wanted to go to America, study computers, and build them and make it so everyone, even people in Pakistan, could have a computer. I remember when he was getting on the plane to America, I was crying and begging him to stay, but he just smiled at me and he told me, "It's okay, Ami. I'm going to make you so proud." And he did. So you might think writing is a stupid dream, but you'll never know unless you try.
You think I can do it?
If you're Sunny's daughter, I know you can.
Thanks, Dotto. I think I can do it.
Amara?
What was that?
I'm not sure. That's never happened.
Wait, you said the doctors were still operating on me, right?
That's what I was told. Yes.
Then maybe they brought me back.
That's probably it.
I'm going to live. I get to see my family. This is so great. Oh.
I know.
I'm going to be leaving you.
Yes, John.
But no, it can't end like this.
That's not up to you.
But I just started getting to know you.
I know this is hard. Leaving people you love is hard, even if you've only known them for a few minutes. But I want you to know that just because I'm not there in person, I'll always be watching in some way. And you'll always have this moment. No one can take that from you.
Okay. Can I at least finish my chai?
I think we have time for that.
So, what was Papa like as a child?
Oh, he was such a shy kid, but he was my best friend. And he loved jalebis. I remember this one time when he was younger, it was his birthday, and his only wish was that we could get jalebis. But we didn't have enough money, and we both went around the entire house looking for just enough money to get some.
Papa told me about that story. He still loves them. I mean, he tries not to eat them, but he can't resist them.
The best ones are in Gulbahar. Ask him to take you.
I definitely will.
And you can visit me. Not like this, though.
I wish Papa were here. He would have loved this.
I know, but I'm sure he's going to love the story. He was so excited for me to meet you. I can see why.
Dotto, do you know the saying, don't meet your heroes? I thought if I ever met you, you wouldn't be as great as everyone said you were.
Really?
I know, it seems really stupid, but you just seem too good to be true. And now you're here, and I'm really glad I was wrong. Because you are better than what anyone has ever said.
Oh, that can't be true.
It is, though. You're just as kind and patient, and you do that thing that Papa does whenever I'm anxious.
Who do you think taught him?
Amara? Ms. Khan, can you hear us?
I should get going, huh?
Probably a good idea.
I'm going to miss you, Dado.
I'm going to miss you too, Jenny. But don't worry, I'll always be there, especially if jalebis are involved.
Good.
I love you, Amrajan. I always will.
I love you too, Dado. Are you sure he can't come with me?
I don't think it works like that.
Just thought I'd ask. Huda Hafez, Dado.
Huda Hafez, Amra.
End of play.
Thank you so much. Just a few more minutes. And now the play Mother.
Mother, written by Celeste Gomez and directed by Erik Rodriguez. Hi, I'm Jennifer Delossantos. I will be playing me. The character is a figure of my imagination. It is what I wish I would have said to my mother before the passing. The aurora around me is dreamy, and I feel my body floating. Maybe it is my time to be with her too. Listen closely. Can you hear me? I'm afraid to admit it, but there are times where I feel that I forget your voice. Please talk back to me so I can tell you what has been going on in my mind.
You know where I am. You are living in a world without me. I am dead, and I will remain dead. Nothing will change that. Life again is a dream, but you have it, and I'm jealous.
Day by day, I'm slowly falling apart, wishing to reunite with you. If I could receive a penny for all the emotional labor I've dealt with, I'd be rich. My heart is exhausted.
How do you think I feel? I'm separated from my own entire family. You always think about yourself.
Ma, I'm sorry.
Remember the night in the hospital I asked you to stop by? What did you do? You decided to work on your book report. You thought putting school first before your own family was more important.
I didn't know that you were going to die. We had agreed that I'd visit the next day since I had no school.
I waited for you. I waited all hours of the night for you, but you left me alone. The last moments of my life, I felt pain. No one came to visit me that night. I provided life to you, and this is how you repay me? Why is it that mothers give so much to their kids? Let me tell you something. Being a mother is way more exhausting than an English paper. Once you're a parent, you'll truly understand.
You don't think I don't regret my decision? Whenever I feel angry, I always remember that I can't hug you whenever I cry. I can't call you whenever I am lonely. And I can say I'm sorry for all the stupid shit I've done. Look, I'm sorry for not showing up. I know I should have, but it was hard for me to see you all hooked up to machines. Seeing you deteriorate in front of our eyes was the hardest thing I have ever done. I just couldn't see you suffer anymore. I know it was selfish of me, but it hurt so much.
I knew that I was going to die that night. That's why I had turned your grandma away. I didn't want her to see me have a heart attack. I just needed you because I knew you were stronger than anyone else in the family. Just having you near me comforted me too. I'm sorry for yelling. Tell me what's been going on. I don't think I have much time left here.
Mom.
Please, I want to change the subject. I don't know if I'm going to see you like this again. Let's take this opportunity to catch up. How has college been?
It's been really good. I know you didn't want me to come here, but it was the best decision I have ever made. I have made a lot of new friends, and I will be graduating.
Are you still with your boyfriend from high school?
No, I broke up with him.
Why? He is a good man. He's smart and independent.
We just had different mindsets, and we needed to move on.
You're not telling me the truth. I can tell that you're lying.
I'm not lying.
So you're going to continue to lie to me?
Mom, it's none of your business. It was my relationship. I told you already that.
And here we go again with the it's none of your business. Honey, I made you, so it's my business, whether you like it or not.
I don't want to talk about it.
Stubborn as always. Well, you know you've grown so much, and I want you to know how proud I am of you.
Really?
Of course. I made you.
Mom, Were you ever scared about your future when you were in your 20s? Like about your relationships and stuff?
I was constantly scared. When I had your brother, your father and I were not in a good place. Your father was part of this gang back in Chula Vista, and the food stamps weren't enough to feed us. Your dad didn't work, and I got diagnosed with scleroderma, so I couldn't work. I wanted to give up my baby for adoption and kill myself. I was so overwhelmed, and I felt that I wasn't prepared for motherhood.
Did you find a way out of that hellhole?
One day I gathered the courage to call your grandma and told her everything. My mother was right about not marrying that man, but you and I are no different. I was stubborn too. When I told my mother she had your uncle who just got his license at 16 to pick me up in a truck. I gathered my things and I was pregnant with you at the time, and we left.
Did Dad find out?
Oh yeah, and he tracked me down. But your grandparents told him to leave or they would call the police. They weren't afraid to put him in jail.
The reason why I broke up with my high school boyfriend was because he shaved me down there and used to pin me down whenever things in our fight got heated.
What do you mean by pin you down?
He would tell me to calm down because I would be having a panic attack, and would put his hand over my mouth and have me in like if he was an officer. Then he would tell me to be quiet.
That son of a bitch. You know that's abuse? Did you contact the police?
I know, and I was scared to report it because he works at the station. I want to report it though. When I get the chance, I will go there myself.
I'm proud of you for leaving him. You don't deserve someone who doesn't respect you.
I'm proud of myself too, Mom. I hated the person I was becoming. I was treating my body like shit. I hated wearing my clothes because his words made me feel ugly. I hated the fact I allowed his words to bring me down.
Don't blame yourself for his insecurities and anger. He was so immature and inflicted them on you.
I'll admit, seeing him on campus still gives me anxiety.
That's how I was with your father. Now, it's my turn to tell you something.
Go ahead.
I know this sounds messed up, especially since I made you and your brother go to church with me, but I thought about aborting you. The way you were conceived was not my choice. When I had told your grandma, she had cried because having birth could kill me. My doctors at the time told me to not have another child. I know it doesn't mean anything now because look at you. You're all grown up. But that has always been bothering me. I just wanted you to know that I'm sorry, and I'm happy I didn't do it.
Did you not love me or the situation?
I'll be honest, I don't know. I want to say the situation, but I had no emotional attachment to you either. Pregnancy with you was the worst because I was getting sicker. But knowing that you had the right to live was not fair for me. But it was also my body. I wanted to be happy, but I also wanted to give you a chance. If you got one, I wouldn't judge you.
I know, Mom.
I love you.
I love you too. I have something to ask you.
What is it? Better make it quick. I could feel myself fading.
No, please don't go.
You know I have to.
Just for a little longer. Please, I need you.
Ask your question.
Is it true that you were adopted? Dad told me because we found your old high school records. I confirmed with Grandma and the rest of the family too.
Yes, I was adopted.
Why would you hide that away from us? That's not fair. We had a whole other family you kept from us. Your dad was Puerto Rican too, so that makes my brother and I Puerto Rican too.
I know.
Why, Mom?
I was afraid that all of you would treat me differently. When I was in school, I was already made fun of because I couldn't speak the language. No one thought a Mexican Puerto Rican girl would pass the 3rd grade.
You proved them wrong.
I know I did. I was just scared to face it again from the people I loved.
You have not been treated differently. We love you forever and always.
As sad as this sounds, I'm glad that I died. This world had no more space for me. And both you and your brother were already grown up.
You know, 18-year-old me would have disagreed, but I think I understand now.
No more being fed by the tube.
Mom, stop.
No more having you scrub me from head to toe.
Sick or not, I didn't mind doing any of those. I would do them again if you were here right now because I love you. You're my mom, so why wouldn't I?
Because I look disgusting. I was all fray.
I don't care. You took care of me, and now it was your turn to be taken care of.
I raised a good kid.
You know, Grandma still talks about you. She'll still leave a plate for you at the table. If anyone picks it up, she'll yell.
I miss her too. We did everything together. No matter how busy or tired she was, she made time to get me a root beer float on Fridays after school. We used to go to the A&Ws and park in the lot. The ladies would come outside with their roller skates and take our order. Your grandma would let me always get a banana split.
Is that why you took me there all the time when I was younger?
Yeah, I was so sad that they tore it down.
Will we see each other again?
We will, my child, in heaven.
I'm scared that it's not real. What if this isn't real?
We will. I promise you.
What if I were to go with you right now? I mean, what else is there to live for?
Stop it right now. I raised a hell of a good child for you to waste your life away. I didn't get my chance, but you have yours. Now take it.
It's so hard. What if I don't achieve anything?
You won't really know unless you try. Please, keep going for me.
Mom, you're so far away.
Let's not think about it. Let's just enjoy this moment.
Mom, please don't go.
I want you to continue being strong.
I can't do this without you.
I want you to achieve your dreams.
Fading faster. God, stop it.
You deserve the world.
Mom!
I love you, and thank you for letting me be your mother.
I love you.
Will you do one last thing for me?
What is it?
Close your eyes for me.
No!
Please?
End of play.
Thank you, Mother. And now we have the final play of the night, which is Uninvited.
Uninvited, written by Jessica Capinaris, directed by Jacob Granado.
Hello, Aunt May, and thank you for joining us today. Hello, Aunt May. Hello. Sorry I'm late. I was gonna cook, but then I decided to order pizza instead, but we didn't have... Oh, would you look at that? Still beat everyone here, except for my sweet Anna, always on time.
Hello, Aunt May, and thank you.
And you set up the chairs already, in a circle. Kind of a weird choice, but I appreciate the creativity.
Thank you for joining us today.
Honey,
I
can you check your mom and see where she's at?
Well, actually...
Tell her to get here before I finish this bottle by myself.
Mom isn't going to...
Tell her... Oh, Howard, did you want a class, dear? I can get you one, or...
Aunt May, listen to me.
Such a bossy one. You know, you've been that way since you were little. When you were 3, I remember this one.
Please, I'm trying to do a thing, and I need your full attention.
All right. Tell me what's going on.
First, no one is coming to dinner tonight.
What, it's canceled?
It's not canceled as much as it's relocated.
Relocated. I've hosted Sunday dinner for years. And why wouldn't they tell me?
Because you're not exactly, well, invited.
How could I, a member of this family, be booted from the family dinner?
I have something prepared to explain that.
What, like a poem? A song?
Just listen. Hello, Aunt May, and thank you for joining us today. We're all here to discuss the issue of your drinking.
Drinking?
Yes, drinking.
That's what this is about. God, what a bunch of babies.
Aunt May, please, no name calling.
And you keep saying us and we, but where are these cowards, huh?
They...
This is what they do. They just point fingers from the safety of their home. Chicken shit, each and every one of them.
May, it's not their fault.
You poor thing. You'll learn eventually.
No, I wanted to.
I know you wanted to keep the peace, but don't worry. I know how manipulative that bunch can be.
Aunt May, it was my idea.
You're not saying what I think you're saying.
I just wanted to help.
You can't think that low of me.
I don't think low of you. I'm scared for you. The whole family is.
Have I given anyone a single reason to worry about me?
We know about your accident.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Your car accident last week, we know about it.
That was nothing.
You were drunk and you were lucky. There was a kid in that car.
No one was hurt.
You could have hurt a kid. You could have...
No, don't do that. Don't tell me what could have happened, because what actually happened is I was in a minor fender bender, and...
You were arrested. You got a DUI. You were able to call Uncle Ricky, and he was able to call...
I'm not in jail, and no one was hurt, so I don't understand why everyone is punishing me.
This isn't a punishment.
You're damn right, it's not a punishment. It's not an intervention either. In fact, it's a funeral. Funeral for all the members of my family who are now dead to me.
Come on.
Here's to my dear brother. Dropped out of college to smoke pot for 2 years. For you, I leave this bag of chips. Ah, and little Ricky. Hey, bud, remember when you couldn't make rent and so I lent you $800? Never asked for it back either. I hope you enjoyed this bottle of Coke in the afterlife. And for my sister, Marie, you can actually take my watch so you can see all the time I spent raising your daughter for you.
That is enough. You leave Mom out of this.
Finally, sweet Anna. You were my number one, but they got to you.
So this is what it's come to.
Here, have my favorite bottle of wine.
Forever the victim. This is why they said not to come.
I changed your diapers, you know.
You may feel depressed and shameful.
Quit reading off that damn clipboard. I do not feel the least bit shameful.
It says right here that denial is completely normal. But we're not going to get anywhere if you don't admit you have a problem.
I'm not denying a thing, Missy. Sure, I drink a lot, but it's not a problem.
Mate, please, I know you can do this.
Won't say something I don't mean. I'll admit, I've made bad decisions, but everyone has, drunk or not.
I'm begging you to think ahead. What are you going to do without your family?
Thrive?
Please take this seriously.
No.
God, just like Grandpa.
What did you say?
You're acting just like Grandpa. Angry, defensive.
I'm nothing like him.
Tell me what's different.
He was a mean drunk. Alcohol doesn't make me mean. It makes me... I'm not like that.
You may not scream and you may not hit, but...
No. I will not sit here and be compared to my father.
You're not 100% the same.
You have no idea, Anna. I won't listen to you sit here and compare him anymore. Just drop it.
Can't you see how your drinking makes people feel? How it makes me feel?
After all the things I did to make you happy, how ungrateful can you be?
I am so grateful for all the nice things. But for every nice thing, there was something else.
What? What else? Tell me how I ruined your life with all the shopping trips and sleepovers and brunches.
How about when I was 14 and we went to the mall and I had to take your keys and call a cab for the way home? I was terrified and you begged me not to tell anyone.
I could have driven.
Or 2 years ago when Tim broke up with me and I came over and I had to take care of you while you threw up all night. I needed someone. I needed you.
I had food poisoning that night.
Or how about last week? Mom told me about the crash and I drove 2 hours from school to find you on the kitchen floor crying and clutching a bottle of wine.
No one made you come here.
And I had to pry the bottle out of your hands and help you into the shower. I tucked you into bed even though I knew it was your fault and I felt sick. God, there's so much more. So many I'll be there's and so many broken promises. And every time I feel sick. May, I love you so much. You've made me feel strong and smart and pretty when I needed it most.
That's all I ever wanted.
But I can't keep going like this. Every time I'm around you, it's like my whole world revolves around you and I'm tired. I'm so tired. I told everyone. When they told me not to come, I said Aunt May would do anything for me. She loves me.
Anna, you can't understand what you're asking me to do.
I'm just asking you to try.
I don't even know how to start to try.
You start by saying that you are powerless over alcohol, that you have an addiction.
What happens if I say that?
Maybe we can get you some help.
And I stop drinking?
Well, yeah, that's usually how it goes.
I don't think you've known me sober. What if you don't like me? What if nobody likes me?
Come home. Come to dinner. Show us you can put down the bottle. You'll see we like you just fine.
What if I don't like me?
I think you should give yourself a shot.
I don't know.
You did a big thing tonight. Taking responsibility. You were so strong. Everyone will be so proud of you.
Maybe.
And let's go.
I should clean up. I'll meet you there.
I don't feel like I should leave without you.
No, I kept you too long. You should go to dinner while I start putting the chairs away.
I really don't think... My notes say I shouldn't leave you.
Honey, you did your job. Now let me put these chairs away and I'll head right over.
I could say just a little.
Anna, go on. I'll be there. I promise.
I believe in you, Aunt May.
I know.
End of play.
Thank you so much, Uninvited. And now I want to invite all of the actors who performed in this second half of the evening to turn on your cameras so that we can give you a curtain call and acknowledge the beautiful work that you did. Thank you for your impassioned performances. Thank you so much. Well done, everybody. Thank you. And now it's my pleasure again to welcome Erin back to continue with the dialogue with the final 5 writers who showcased their work just now. Erin?
Thanks, Erik. Good. I'm glad to be back with you. Great work, everyone. It was a real pleasure to hear this group of plays, and I look forward to talking about it. So for anyone watching, again, we're just going to speak for about 5 minutes with each of the playwrights and kind of go through the experience. So I'd like to invite the playwright from Night Out, Aline, I believe.
Hello,
Hi,
Aline.
Aline. Okay, great. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. Nice job. And again, I just want to say, kudos to the team also, for the actors and director, for really letting us hear the work, especially in this intimate setting. So tell us a little bit about the inspiration, kind of what spurred on the idea.
Well, I really wanted to write something that focused on the sister dynamic. So I thought about what my relationship with my sister was, and I know that it was kind of, we used to hate each other and now we're inseparable now that we're older. So I wanted to go back to that, where there's a little bit of tension between the two, and I wanted to put them in a situation where they would have to confront that.
Yeah. I thought you did a really nice job of that, of a lot of love, a lot of care, a lot of tension all in one, right? Especially when there's a that tension of I want to reveal what you're doing in order to stop it, but I also don't want to reveal it because I want to protect you. I mean, I thought all of that worked very well. And I thought, again, as in the last group of plays, I thought too that in 10 minutes to go from like, we understand the situation, the younger sister coming to pick up the older sister and not wanting to be in trouble, also dealing with this older man who's you know, and questions about what's going on there, and being the protector, to the resolution of, all right, I will keep it quiet for now, but not forever. I mean, I thought it was a pretty full and clear story. So good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think my big question was just about, it's interesting because you talked about the sister relationship. So my question's actually slightly connected to that, which is, so the younger sister, how much younger is she?
Not by much. I think about 3 years.
Great. And what do you think up until this last year or two, what was their relationship like?
I think Nicole spent a lot of time covering for Mindy, so that's kind of what's been happening before that play. So it's been building up slowly, and then this is I put it in there. Nicole is leaving for a study abroad, so this is like her last chance to like, you know, say something.
Got it. Remind me, does she say that at any point? Just remind me in the actual dialogue that she's leaving for study abroad.
Yes, she does.
Great, cool. So my one thought then, hearing your response to that, I found myself as somebody watching, because the storytelling was so clear, which I really appreciated. I found myself desiring a little bit more of complication in the relationship. And what I mean is that you have a younger sister who has the burden and responsibility of taking care of the older sister, who
it's the older sister, and she's taking care of the younger sister. Sorry, Nicole is older and she's taking care of Mindy. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So thank you. So the one who's coming to pick her up is the older sister.
Right.
Okay. Thanks. So I still think there's an issue there that I want to address, which is, what is it to have to be taking care of somebody and carrying that burden of being parent-like while also being a sibling? And I feel like there is room in the piece to let that layer in. The resentment that comes from that, the feelings of guilt, the feelings of, as you pointed out, the fear of going away and what that's going to mean. I'm now gone, and what's that going to mean for how you behave? It comes up in between, but I almost felt like, because the storytelling is so clear, there's room to make those things even more apparent, because that will give it another layer, right? What is it to take somebody, you know, to take care of somebody in that way and protect them all these years? Both has ego in it and also has feelings of resentment, right? And I feel like right now we're going on one track, but not both. And I actually think if you can find a way to have both, it will make it a more interesting relationship. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally understand.
Great. And thanks for the clarification also on the power dynamic, but I think in the age dynamic. But I think that if you can layer in what's already there, you already clearly know the nature of their relationship. I think just allow it to turn up a notch and you'll have an even stronger piece.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Nicely done. Thank you. Great. Cool. Reach for it, Armando.
Hi there.
Hi, Armando. Good to see you.
That's good to see you too.
So tell us a little bit about, well, before we dive in, I want to say I thought, again, good job to the team, because the whole point of these readings is to allow us to really hear the play so we can.
It's very helpful. And I really like that setting for like a play, since plays are very conversation driven. And so that back and forth I thought would have been really interesting. And then I also wanted to play with this idea of like masculinity, you know, that idea that you have to be the one you have to be handy, you know. And so you got this character who like doesn't have his hands, and so he has this like kind of identity crisis, not really sure where to go next.
Yeah.
those were my main inspirations. I might be overlooking some, but
cool.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I thought that the play, what it did well, speaking of those inspirations, is like this very clear, like, I'm in a situation, it's out of my control. What does this mean for how I am going to move through the world? And the play moved from being about the technical aspects of that, right? Like the first half of the play is them navigating the quite literally the physical therapy aspects and around, not my limbs not being there, but feeling them, and why is that happening, to then moving into an emotional state, right? So you use the kind of situation to get us eventually to what the real fears underneath it are, which is, what does this mean about who I am and how I'm going to walk through the world, and my there was a variety of things in there around that.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that worked well. I thought that you really set us up and paid us off in that way. I think that one thing that might make it even stronger is often, a play like this, especially in a 10-minute form, where you don't have time to kind of spin out the whole psychology, often exists with a really present, strong inciting incident. So here's what I mean. Right now, he's been in therapy for a month. I think it was, the play said, about a month. And so the why is the play starting today is a little soft. And what I mean by that is that often it comes in because something has failed, or last night I really contemplated ending my life, or somebody who was close to me, a partner, a spouse, decided not to come back and see me. It's too painful for them. Like, I think I'm giving you options because there are all the variety of ways, but right now, I think so much of the play lives in the technical aspects of what's going on with the limbs and such, partially because the why now is a little soft. We need to feel like this is a turning point moment that couldn't have happened the day before, and it couldn't have happened the day after. It's happening today because something in particular made this day different. And I feel like if you can up that, then everything else will get revealed.
Yeah, definitely. That makes sense.
Okay, cool. And I think it's because the pieces are there. And that way, too, it gives your Doc, that character, an extra layer to play, too. Because right now, right, he's getting to be the good physical therapist doctor who's like, I'm taking care of you and pushing you. But what if there's an extra layer of danger? If this is somebody who, for example, is on edge, like I don't know if they're going to end their life, or they're, those kinds of things. It adds an extra layer of tension of what that doctor has to do to keep everyone feeling safe.
I kind of struggled with the Doc character. At first, he was like way too neutral. It was just very like robotic, even. So I try to flesh him out a bit more. But
if he's got to play one additional thing, I think that will help. Right?
Yeah.
I want to push you, but if I push you too far, I know I could. And you started to get to that at the end, but I think you can layer it in even more.
Yeah, definitely.
Great work. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Congrats. Great. So next is just a few more minutes. And Aleena, hi.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Good job.
Thank you.
I appreciated team who staged it and stuff too. I appreciated, having the kind of background voice, which allowed us to kind of play with reality. I thought it was a really clear presentation. So good job. And so tell us a little bit about the idea.
Oh, okay. So writing this play was a very cathartic experience for me because so the grandma that I write about in the play, it's all true. I never met her. She died before I was born. And I had always wanted to meet her because everyone always said all these amazing things about her. And when this summer my maternal grandma, she died, and I really struggled with that because I had known her and stuff, and so I needed to find some closure. So I wanted to write this piece about just meeting my other grandmother, and just that struggle between wanting to stay where you are but also knowing you have to move on with your life and carry on. So
great.
That's where this came from.
I thought that was really what you just described is really clear in the piece in terms of like here I am, I want to get to know you more, let's have more time together, and life is calling back to me, right? And that tension of that, and also the grandmother character of also wanting connection, but also recognizing, like, I'm here to, you've got to move on. I'm here because I'm here, but so I thought that was nicely done. And I thought that also you did a good job of holding off on the possibility of being called back. And what I mean is, you gave us the first half of the play without that possibility, right? We didn't hear, don't think we heard the like Dr. Erner's voice until much later in the play. So we don't fully register that there's a possibility of going back. And I thought that was nicely done. It kind of allowed us to be in the moment. So Mike, I have a question, and maybe it was me mishearing something, but my question is, does her grandmother know that she might go back, like, prior to that moment, or no, she doesn't?
So she's only told that she has had an accident and the doctors are operating on her, so there might be a possibility, but as far as that world of purgatory, no one's really ever gone back. So when they both hear the doctor voice, they're both kind of like, oh, this is weird.
Got it.
Yeah.
So the reason why I asked that is because when she's talking to her about, you can do anything you want, you can write that sequence, I was curious about the motivation behind her encouraging her in that way, because if she knows you might be going back, that motivation felt right to me. I'm here to kind of encourage you. If she doesn't, I had questions about it, because I might have thought that her motivation might be to, as you say with the chai, to soothe, to calm. And soothing and calming is often about letting go of what was possible.
Yeah.
Right?
For
Because hey, I know you had dreams and things you wanted to do, but I want to help you let go of those. You're here now with us. As of where, unless I misheard, right? But that's what she was doing. She was sort of encouraging her to think about her dreams and what she could do.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was.
So you can see it makes for a little bit of like a challenge in the piece, because it makes the grandmother's motivation a little unclear, which is, am I here to soothe you and make your transition better, which is what she says she's here for? Or am I here to kind of be a good grandmother who's pushing you as life is calling you back to show up for your life more fully? And I think you have to make a choice. And something tells me, because you wrote that the latter choice is the stronger choice, because it allows also the grandmother to be not selfish, to be about, hey, I am purposely doing something to help you move on, to help you move back. But that's your choice. The other choice might be valid, and you might find a way to do it that makes a lot of sense. But I wanted to point out there's a little bit of a disconnect there that makes it then, as an audience member, I get confused about what's the reality.
No, for sure. I definitely was probably gonna go with like the writer choice, if I'm being honest. So yeah.
Cool. Well, I think it's strong, right? And I think this is, again, for those who are watching and engaging in this, it's always like the choice that has more action in it, more motivation, is almost always the one, right? And also the one that's maybe even more painful for the characters, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm pushing you to leave me is more painful than I'm pushing you to find a way to be with me, right? So again, that can have a little more juice in it. So really nicely done, though. Super clear.
Thank you.
I think you're on good track of something. So good job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. Mother, Celeste, I believe.
Hi.
Hi, Celeste. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
So first, I
That pandemic happened, and knowing that we weren't going to be able to walk, it was a big emotional grief for me, because it just felt like another target, So this was just like homage to her, and like saying that, you know what, like it doesn't matter, like I'm gonna succeed, So yeah.
Nice. I mean, I appreciated that the piece did have that kind of lived intimacy, and the details about where a character has been and where the mom has been and how those things intersect and don't. And I wish I could have fought for you. And all of these things I thought made the piece very clear. And I thought also the moment of somebody grappling with loss is a heightened moment. So already you've got dramatic tension in it, which worked well. So I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
So one is, remind me, where are we in time and space? Like when this piece starts, give me the givens. Like where is the me character and what's just happened?
The me character is just in their room, and they just like kind of woke up from like a nightmare. And so they're just they're trying to have like peace in their mind. So like remind like them talking to like their mom is their inner peace. So
got it. And how long ago did mom die?
Like about like four years ago.
Okay. So I think that given those givens, here's a few things to consider, because here was where some of my questions came up in the piece. The piece was really making sense to me. I'm just looking at my notes here. The piece was really making sense to me when I really understood that it was somebody working through their own feelings of guilt, feelings of shame, feelings of I wasn't there, and what does that mean about who I am? And even hearing, I mean, you kind of imagine in the first half of the piece, especially, that she's really speaking to herself, that even though mom is there, what she's really doing is saying, well, she's saying, well, I shouldn't have gone. Did you want me to go? Like we sort of can almost envision it as an externalization of her own internal feelings of conflict, right? When that was happening, I really understood the purpose of the play. When the play in the second half starts to go into a lot more, here's where I've been in history, it starts to lose a little bit of its dramatic tension, because it becomes a kind of reverie of we're sharing together. And I start to wonder, while it's beautiful sharing, from a dramatic tension standpoint, I don't feel as much the character working through something, needing resolution. And whenever, I mean, in general, when you have a character dealing with a spirit or somebody who's passed, the main character, who is the me figure, usually this is a form of them working through something that they need to, right? It's often not actually about them connecting with the figure, right? It's actually about them connecting with themselves. And the figure the figure that's passed away is merely a vessel for that. So I would look at that second half of the piece, and it's not that you need to cut it, it's that you might have to figure out how that second half of the piece still keeps the tension of things that need to be resolved inside that character. And anything that's just about connecting with mom may or may not belong, but anything that you can decide is about this person resolving something probably makes sense. Questions about that?
No, I completely understand like what you mean, and then considering like the length of like the 10-minute, so I could see where I like struggle with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I definitely see your point.
Yeah, and I think some of it is, and this is a good guideline for people writing 10-minute plays, allow the 10-minute play to be about one thing that then may have layers of complication. But if it's about two or three things, it starts to get confused, right? So like if this play is about I need to resolve something in myself, everything then there might be layers of complication. But if it's about I need to resolve something, I need to connect with this character, I need to, right? Then it starts to get hard to contain into 10 minutes and might need more time.
Yeah.
So really great work. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
my pleasure. Great. So uninvited, Jessica. Hi. Good to see you again. It's been so long. Great. I think, with this piece, it was really interesting. I just want to say with the director and the actors, like the framing, I thought, I often find in these forms sometimes, right, the challenge of this, we're just here up. So actually seeing somebody get up and sit and grab the drink, I thought really set the scene well. And I thought, therefore, we could really dive in to the world of the piece. So good job, team. And Jessica, so tell us a little bit about this one.
Well, alcoholism is something I've known from multiple people in my life, family members, even friends. And originally what I wanted to tackle is like a person who doesn't really see themselves as a problem because they're like the life of the party. It's like my alcoholism doesn't affect people. Like, I'm not like a bad alcoholic. I'm like fun. And so that's what I wanted with Aunt May. And yeah, that's basically where where that came from, where it's someone who's lovable and you want the best for them, but at the same time, like, they don't see their actions as harmful.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that that makes a lot of sense, and that was clear in the piece. So that intention was clear. And I thought that it also, it did a really nice job of something that's very tricky, which is to go from complete resistance to really hearing, even if it doesn't wind up resolving, in a necessarily positive, quote unquote, way, that the compression of having that journey happen believably is very tricky in 10 minutes, right? Because it can feel like, wow, you need 20 or 30 to get there. But I thought the kind of monologic form of the person who was sort of doing the intervention and what they went through, where they finally kind of lost it and said, hey, here's the deal, I thought actually was pretty skillful and allowed us to buy that journey, because whenever we see somebody reach their heights of emotion quickly and speak vulnerable truth, we understand that there's a whole history behind that, right? That led to this moment. So it's not just the 10 minutes, it's the whole life surrounding it. So I thought that worked really well.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. So because of that, I have a question a little bit about the setup, because what I found was once I was in it, I believed I had a little bit of a challenge with the setup of the intervention that nobody shows up to, right? And I want to ask about that, because it's not that it can't work. It's that it caused me a challenge because of I then had to work to sort of go, well, is this person that bad, or is the family just jerks? Like, what's the, like, and is actually the person right? Because they're like, the whole point of an intervention is however bad the person's been, the whole point is we're going to show up and try and do the right thing. So talk to me a little bit about what you think the reality is around the family not being there.
So, well, first, I think the character Anna, she's just like too optimistic, like borderline naive. No, she's naive. She's naive
Sure.
about the situation. So that's like partially on her, just hoping everybody will come through and hoping that her aunt will come through. As for like the family themselves, the idea kind of was that they just had their breaking point with the accident that was mentioned. Like that was the last straw, and they decided like the Sunday dinner, it happens every Sunday. They just decided like that was the last straw. So that's kind of where that was.
So I think it's something you want to look at in the piece, because it becomes a barrier to entry, and here's why. One is that then at the end, when the whole point is, why don't you come to dinner? Mm-hmm. I feel like if I were that character, there's no way, right? Like, oh, the whole point of an intervention is for the family to say, I love you and we're here for you, letting you know how you've affected me, right? And yet they didn't even show up. So then to say, but they'll be happy to have you at dinner, even though they didn't invite you to dinner and they didn't come to this. So the reality of the situation is a little watery. Do you see what I mean? Because it's like, wait, but if she wasn't invited, but they didn't come to this, will they be okay with her showing up? Like, it causes me to, instead of being with the piece, it causes me to start to ask questions you don't want me to ask, right? And so I think if you want it to be a two-hander, as opposed to a group piece where you have a big intervention, I mean, there are options. Like, you could do something along the lines of saying, after your accident, they didn't want to be here, and you know what? You're not welcome at dinner tonight. Go get help, and then maybe you'll be welcome back. Like, I think, and it causes some problems for the end. You'll have to look at the end, but I think that you want to dig into that reality so that I can buy what's going on in the middle of the piece, because what's going on in the middle of the piece is so strong. You don't want me concerned about the structure on either end.
Yeah, I see what you're saying about like building that up at the beginning so that it doesn't come back around. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And you sort of planted the seed where there was some, this is what the family does, right? You had a little bit of that in there, but I think you want to like let that seed, bear fruit so that you can really you can really make sure that we buy the reality. And the only other thing I would add is if you made this a 15 or 20-minute piece, that would allow for more resistance. Like I said, I thought you handled the skillful in 10 minutes, but if you expanded, Aunt May would probably have more resistance, and you can play out the way she might resist or manipulate or cajole, and that might buy you a little bit too.
Okay, that's definitely something to consider.
Great.
Longer.
Any questions?
No, not off the top of my head. Thank you so much for your feedback.
Thanks. Bye. Thank you. I just want to say, and then I'll hand it back over to Erik. This is, for those who are watching, that this is also a very vulnerable place. Somebody's just shared their new work. And I just want to say thank you to the playwrights for being so open to kind of immediate questions and feedback as work evolves. So really great work. And thanks to the whole team for having me. It was a pleasure to be with you.
Aaron, I'm jumping in just to thank you. And I want to thank you for your insights. As people who have participated in Playworks before know, you are the man with the hat, and you're able to sort of zero in laser sharp on elements in their play so attentively. So we just so appreciate your insights, and thank you again for being part of Playworks, and we look forward to hosting you tomorrow again.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And I just want to take the opportunity to say thank you so much to the playwrights, to the directors, to the actors, to our terrific production team. This is remarkable in any case to have a festival of 22 plays, but to do it online on short notice in this way is truly inspiring. So I want to thank everybody, and I want to thank the audience so much for staying with us this evening, for being part of this, for making this a live performance event that really brings about the premiere of new work and wonderful new work by our students. So thank you for joining us. I want to remind everybody that tomorrow night we do it all again with a new slate of work. So come and join us again tomorrow night at 7 for the second and final night of Playworks. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much.